was inspired by this episode of Fantasy Points that I was just watching earlier today, and they were just talking about all these unlikely players that have been kind of low key heroes for fantasy this season. Just guys we did not expect to be relevant at all, or really good starters, or guys that we thought might be like a fringe starter or like a really good starter. Um, and so just before we went live here, we started like jotting down some of these names, and it was even more names than I even expected. I mean, it's really crazy just how unpredictable the game of fantasy football is. Kind of feels like more unpredictable than ever, honestly. I mean, I've been playing it for many years. Um, I don't know if that's actually true or not. Maybe it's one of those things where I don't know. Is it one of those things where we say it every year kind of thing? But it really does feel that way. So I thought it'd be fun to just kind of have a conversation about like how do we adjust to this, and then also I thought it'd be really cool to jump into a little draft and basically draft like a round or two of just like the most unexpected fantasy superstars who have, in terms of how much they have surpassed our expectations.
Yeah, exactly. I got some, we got a list kind of guys and just, I mean, there's one on there to me that's been like, it's funny because like I'm not surprised it's happening, but I'm just like surprised at how big it's been happening. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for that. But yeah, who should we jump into first and talk about?
Well, I mean, I think we can talk about the individual players like as we draft them in the draft that we're about to do.
Actually, do you want to have a conversation about the video story then? Is it?
Well, I just wanted to have just a brief conversation leading into the draft about like how do we adjust to this in Dynasty? I mean, we could talk about it in the context of redraft as well, or just in general. But like, how are you adjusting to this? Like, are you just hoping that you got lucky with some of these guys like stashed on your bench or whatever? Are you actually trying to send offers for any of these hot names? Or do you just feel like, oh man, they're going to be too tough to trade for? They're winning people weeks or whatever. Like, how are you approaching that? And like, let's just start with Dynasty.
Yeah, exactly. Like in Dynasty, it's tough, right? Because like if you don't own a guy, he goes off. Like we're playing the game of literally Dynasty where you have to keep him on the roster, and it's like sometimes this the price of when a guy spikes is just so much that like it can be really not possible to like send draft picks for people. And it's more like I always just try to approach it by just like getting player trades done, like primarily around players and maybe picks are involved in the swapping. But I guess if I want to trade for a player, like one of these random studs out of nowhere, I don't want to make
Mhm.
the trade all about them. I want it to include
Yeah.
them, but I want it to be based around something else I'd want to do. I think
Yeah.
that's the way that you like keep draft picks, and in fact, maybe you even gain draft picks doing that because you down tier to this guy you want to get right.
Yeah.
So
That's what I like to do. Because as you know, I hate going into a trade negotiation where like I don't have the leverage. Like I'm in this like position of weakness. Like I absolutely can't stand that.
yeah,
So yeah, I think the best way to kind of turn the tables is if I can present the best player in the offer, now I gain the leverage because I have the most coveted piece. And now I can start dictating the terms of, okay, now what do I want on top of this hot player that I'm trading for? By the way, we got Jacob in the chat here. He says QJ is the 101.
yeah. I mean, there might be. We don't have a big enough sample on my first 101 that came to mind. I think QJ. Actually, I think there's like three front runners for me that are
Mm-hmm.
you can put them in any order. So I'll have to be thinking about that through the stream.
Yeah, we'll get into that
But
soon.
that'll be a fun draft there,
Oh yeah.
for sure. And yeah,
But yeah, I guess like with these players, like in terms of which ones you're sending offers for. I mean, obviously some of them we think like, okay, this might just be a 1 week
yeah,
thing, or maybe like it lasts like one more week. But maybe it's not someone you're trading for. But I mean, some of these players have more lasting value.
yeah.
I don't know if you want me to like name a name, but there's a certain like tight end that comes to mind that projects well for the rest of the season. That I know you traded for recently in one of the leagues that we're in together. So is it about kind of identifying like which of these guys have staying power beyond just like a couple games?
Yeah, I mean, we should bring up the guy name because I think I think a very good lesson for what I was about to say right here. And I actually said it on this stream while endorsing, by the way. I was saying, hey, I just went and bought like three Juwan Johnson when I could get them for what I thought was enough of a fair price according to the league. Um, But I was like, wait a second, like I really shouldn't be like buying these Juwan Johnsons. Like, yeah, like I shouldn't be buying them for anything more than I have, because really, when I'm going ahead and checking the cross referencing the player that you were referencing, Dan, it was Jake Ferguson. I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys are basically the same price. They've
Mhm.
basically done the same thing after 2 weeks, and that was the point. It was after 2 weeks. Just Juwan Johnson had a touchdown or two, and Jake Ferguson didn't have any. And so no one was
Right.
talking about Jake Ferguson because he was just, Juwan Johnson was stealing on the spotlight. So a light clicked. I'm like, dude, he just signed a contract. He's 25. Like, he's not Juwan Johnson. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so that was like and then I went and yeah, I got one and I picked him in a redraft and that's been aging really well. But look how it's aged. Like, Juwan Johnson's already like, he feels basically useless, man. Like, no
Yeah,
one
it feels
wants
like
him.
he's already turned into dust. It's crazy.
And yeah, exactly. So that's why I focused all my like, honestly, like after that stream, like I just like I think we did our deal for Juwan Johnson. And what I really should have done there is I should have just went and see if I could have got Jake Ferguson with that first and maybe something else thrown on top at the time. But
Right.
yeah, after that I just stopped like trading for Juwan Johnson. I've been trying to trade him away now, but everyone
Yeah.
knows that Taysom Hill. I think there's a good lesson in there though. It's like Jake Ferguson's. We knew he was a much better asset, and honestly, their prices, if you were trying to buy, were so much closer than they should have been. Um, and yeah, they were both scoring well. It's hard to like overlook what Juwan Johnson was doing at the time. That's why I was still buying.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, it felt like Jawan Johnson was like a real thing that was going to keep going for a while. Although once you brought up like the risk of the return of like Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau, that kind of made me think, oh gosh, I guess there is some risk there. But I mean, Jake Ferguson is also a player that has never really gotten much respect in fantasy football in general. He's always kind of been underrated, and I think he kind of got even more so forgotten about last year because Dak Prescott was injured and then Ferguson wasn't like all that relevant. So people just kind of forgot that, like, wait, like when Dak's healthy, like he likes throwing to Ferguson. So especially in these like tight end premium leagues,
Yeah.
we should have had longer memories and like and remember that,
Well,
especially for these like 1.0 tight end premium leagues. And that's like,
yeah.
you know, like in the break room where you traded for Ferguson. And I mean, you hopped right on that right after the one big week. And, you know, it's at the time it seemed like, okay, you know, you paid a decent bit, you know, you're buying them high, but it has aged very, very well.
Yeah, and luckily, like the Jake Fergusons I have, thank God, are all in like 0.75 or higher, which is like the
Yeah.
perfect format to get them. So I'm very happy with that. But yeah, I think there was a good lesson there of just like consider when you're trading these guys, like what are these guys as a talents. I know actually Jake Ferguson, it's funny, he's not that big of a talent, but we do know that Jake Ferguson in recent memory, like right out the gate when he's got an opportunity, like he's actually been a good tight end. And it's
Yeah.
also kind of bodes well for my, I should have probably been a lot higher on Ferguson, but again, even me, the guy that loves injured players, still had that like taint in my mouth. It was just like, man, he never got back up to full snaps. Like, even Schumacher was doing
Yeah.
good. So like, there was this doubt in my mind. But again, just like I think it's a good lesson in the off season. If a player was hurt and they've shown that they've been good outside of injury, that's actually how
Right.
I got a little bit onto Kincaid, and I unfortunately only got one. But he ended up
Mhm.
becoming on big in these tight end premiums on my draft board because it
Yeah.
was like, dude, he was hurt like the whole season. Of course, like when you get
Yeah.
these like big injuries and you try to play through them, we don't expect you to do be 100% of yourself. So
Mhm.
I ended up actually like getting back on Kincaid and not like with much confidence, but just with confidence that what am I gonna lose? Like he has a lot more room to go up than down basically as a
Mhm.
starting tight end on the Bills. So I think like anyone that was like kind of buying into like Ferguson or Kincaid heavily, like
Yeah.
probably had some really good logic for off season. Now bringing this back to what we're doing now, right? Talking about these unexpected studs. I don't know. Should we bring up some like names just for reference for the
Why don't we
conversation,
jump
or?
into the draft and get this going, and we can talk about the names as we bring them up.
Okay, but there was one thing though. You were gonna say you want to talk about the DFS thing in that video.
Oh, okay, yeah, because
We should talk
one
about
thing
that
that was
first.
one thing that was suggested in this fantasy points episode that I watched is taking kind of like a DFS approach to fantasy football. Now, Fantasy Points covers both redraft and dynasty. So I'm not exactly sure whether they were suggesting that more so in the context of redraft or dynasty, or maybe even both. But I think it's something that could apply to both. And I thought it was an interesting concept because fantasy football, like regardless of the format, it is like this series of 1 week matchups, right? So if you lean into that a bit more and try to find like these 1 week heroes, whether that's really going for them on waivers or sending out sneaky trade offers, trying to like, get these guys, whether it's like redraft or dynasty. Of course, trading's more common in dynasty. I mean, they didn't get into like a deep conversation about how exactly to do that, but I thought maybe we could kind of take it from there and kind of figure out like what that might look like.
Yeah, like my initial reaction when I was like hearing that is that's more of a redraft thing for sure. Though again, in
Mm.
Dynasty you can make it work. I would say if you go doing that in Dynasty, you're gonna get like rinsed very quickly because these small transactions add up very, very, very quickly. So either
Mm.
your whole team's just gonna be Alec Pierce's and Jake Tongs and whatever, like
Yeah.
eventually you have too many of them to even roster, or you're gonna be like adding to like the guy last week to get the guy whatever in the future.
Mm.
The way is just like in the off season to just try to identify guys or just basically just identify before it happens, so like get off the DFS studs like after, I guess, after a big game. So I guess there is, try to have these guys like Rico Dowdle, and then
Mm.
once you recognize, okay, Chuba Hubbard's coming back, maybe you try and get credit for Dowdle and flip him into the next guy that you think can have a
Yeah.
plot. You gotta try to get ahead of it. You need to buy
Yeah.
into guys that are doing nothing that no one wants, because once they're doing something, like, good luck, paying a reasonable or a price where you can profit very much, especially if it's one of those like DFS-y players. It's not gonna work out well in my
Yeah.
opinion.
But I mean, like we talked about with Ferguson, though, I mean, you managed to, even though you were chasing this like big week that Ferguson had, and many people would have just thought like, oh, he's going to be impossible to trade for now. You still went for it, bought him high, and he's only is like, it has aged very well since that point. So I think there are some cases where if you react
Yeah,
quickly enough, like when it starts
it's
happening and you're willing to buy high a little bit,
yeah.
but it projects to keep going, that could age well.
The key is do it for guys like Jake Ferguson, when
Yeah.
that was like a year like bet that wasn't like, okay, I think week 3 is gonna go nuts, and then wait
Right.
for him to
Right.
sell him. Like
Yeah, that's
it,
true.
it was like, this is the Bengals of the NFC or the Bengals of this year, and I think
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson's gonna have just be a top tight end this year, or just completely blow out his price. So I think
Mm.
that's the key. If you identify a guy like that, and hey, Jake Ferguson's gonna be playing next year,
Right.
like, and so on. He's got a 3-year contract. Guys like that, absolutely, right? If I'm just more talking about like these Dowdles and I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
but maybe it does emphasize the importance of the waiver wire, which is more of a redraft thing. But even in Dynasty, I mean, there are definitely Dynasty leagues, and some are deeper than others, of course. And the shallower the league, like the more players are going to be on waivers. But regardless, like just in general, I think it does underscore the importance of the waiver wire. Um, to just not ignore that, like, oh, this like random guy that like pops off this week, like, oh, that's just a complete fluke, and just like automatically write it off. Like, there might be something more to it. Also, I think another thing is that it just emphasizes like the importance of handcuffs, and also like thinking ahead of like, okay, if there was an injury or
Yeah,
two, which are the handcuffs that would be, could be really good if and when they're given the opportunity. Also, we've seen some of these like interesting like leapfrog situations, like with Michael Carter, where they leapfrog over the guy that was ahead of them on the depth chart in Amari Demercado. So that also makes you think of like, okay, what other kind of leapfrog situations could there be out there where some dude's just like the RB3 on a team, or even on the practice squad right now, where he could like leapfrog in the event of the starter getting injured.
yeah, exactly. Those are, more rare, but like there are a handful of those that you can try and identify. But yeah, one this week was Ryan Flournoy. And it's funny, I maybe got one of them. I put bids in like every league, and
Mm-hmm.
varying, like some of them I just forgot to put any dollars on, but other of them I did like aggressive bids on them. And I'm pretty sure every time I was checking, like anyone I put an aggressive bid on, someone
Mhm.
outbid me. The one I put zero in, oh, someone bid $1. Like,
Oh,
so I don't
jeez.
know if I got him, but that's, I think, a perfect example of a guy that just randomly does something.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just pick him up, just get him on your roster. You might get him
Mhm.
on every roster if you have enough fab on him. Just see
Yeah,
what
and Ryan
happens.
Flournoy, that's like a perfect example of a guy that I'm really not buying into it that much just because like I know he was a guy that had like some hype like randomly like last off season and then just like did absolutely nothing. And so now he gets an opportunity and sure enough he goes out there and has like 100 yards receiving. So like I mean it's definitely not a guy I believe in as a talent. Um but you know I still picked him up in a league or two like just in case I'm wrong because
Yeah.
it still is interesting. I mean, he's in a good offense where they pass a ton. They've had some injuries there with the pass catchers. So it's just like you never know. So like never just like assume anything or just write anything off completely.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like the lesson I've learned. That's actually why I never wasn't picking up Jake Ferguson, uh, going into his breakout year, because
Mm-hmm.
all I could ever hear was, oh, he has a terrible RAS score. He's not athletic.
Yeah.
He's terrible. And I was like, yeah, okay, I won't pick him up. But like, I had roster room. Like, I should have been picking him up. I was looking at him on waivers,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the chance to go, get him across leagues in waivers or for free in drafts. So I still want to like buy into these guys when they're absolutely free, and I don't believe it. Just get them if they've done anything. I think that'll lead you to more victories than just saying, "Oh, they're bad." You just never know, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the guys like in our list, that are that are unexpected studs.
Wait, I'm sorry. I tuned out for a second because I was reading a comment. What will lead you to more victories?
Well, just like just buying it like buying in as in like picking guys off waivers that do
Yeah.
something because okay,
Yeah.
what are you gonna lose? Some fat, just drop them. Like
Yeah, at least like put like $1 or two like on a guy
yeah.
who has you know a monster game, and even if you don't think it's legitimate, if you have the roster room, just like put a modest bid in, and if you get them, like hey, you never know, like you might get lucky with it. But yeah, Jacob says Flournoy higher RAS than BTJ, and he's sixth in targets per route run and fourth in yards per route run this year. That is wild. I never would have guessed any of those things. So hey, you know maybe there's something to Flournoy. I mean, hey, this is why you still pick him up, even if you don't believe. And then Jacob says, not confirmed hit or anything, but clearly worth an ad. Hey, well, it's interesting to get a Jacob endorsement on Ryan Flournoy. That is not something I expected.
Yeah, I mean, look, he had a good game. I mean, it's obviously because he doesn't have very many like routes ran or anything. But you know what? I noticed him on like red zone, not this past weekend, but like other weekends, and he only had like one or two catches or something. But I noticed him making a play, and I'm like, oh, like he's still on the team. Like, and then I
Yeah.
saw him. I didn't realize how big of a game. I just kept seeing him make plays on red zone or whatever. And I
Mm.
was like, oh man, like maybe I should like look into adding it. And I'm like, okay, well I obviously need to now. He had like 100 yards. I didn't even realize it
Yeah.
was that big of a game. And again,
Right.
you could say Lamb's coming back, this and that, but like again, it's just one where who knows? Like maybe
Yeah.
he
Who
gets
cares?
injured, whatever happens. Pickens,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. You're getting him for $1 fab, especially like in a deep dynasty league where you have usually extra bench room. Just like throw him on there. I mean,
yeah,
drop, Foster Moreau or some backup QB or whatever. I mean, just like make room for him and just see if there's anything to it.
yeah, no, exactly. I 100% agree. That's kind of just how you can luck into these random guys. Hits
Yeah.
off the waiver wire.
Yeah, just pick them
Just
up.
picking
Like
them
even if
up.
you think that they're nothing, like just throw a buck or two on them, get a couple shares, and you never know. You might just kind of get lucky. But yeah, I mean, this season has really shown just like how little we actually know about like who the fantasy superstars are going to be. Because I mean, it really has been wildly unpredictable this season.
Yeah, I feel like every year that's true. I think one of the big ones though is like because we're at the beginning of the season, a lot of these guys like do fizzle out, and then okay, Brian Thomas comes back to life or whoever it is. But I don't know, at the beginning of the season there seems to be a ton.
Yeah.
Um, but
But even if they
then
do fizzle out, like they're still going to have relevance. Like because like we said, like fantasy is a weekly game, so like you have to win these individual weeks. And yeah, okay, maybe a guy's only relevant for like a 2 week stretch, a 3 week stretch, but like that's still going to help you. And then like once like one of these guys fizzles out, then like another guy
yeah.
emerges. So it's like I mean, if you sort of like add them all up, all these like unexpected superstars are going to be a big part of your fantasy success in totality on the season.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. So again, the injuries keep happening, so
Right.
it just keeps happening throughout the season. You
Yeah. I
get
mean, yeah,
batches of
injuries
these
are always
guys.
going to be a thing. So,
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's not even injury to the same position. You know, you look at like Wandale's running 100% of the routes, and Theo Johnson's getting more opportunities. So like because of Malik Neighbors got hurt. So yeah, there's like even just people kind of in different roles or positions that can get hurt as the season goes, and then you get these late bloomers. Think of Chase Brown last year. So there's
Yeah, Jameson Williams last year. Most people like wrote him off, and yeah, huge breakout season. Yeah, he's a whole other discussion. But yeah, Jacob also adds, yes, very very small sample size, referring to Ryan Flournoy. Yeah, I mean obviously,
pretty much
I
one
mean,
game, but
pretty much one game where we actually
yeah.
played meaningful snaps, as far as I know. So, but that's what also makes it interesting is that this was like, I mean, to my knowledge, I mean, I don't know, maybe he had like a random game or two last year where he played some snaps. I'll have to look, but to my knowledge, at least this season, this was like the first game where he actually played some meaningful snaps.
Yeah.
So it does catch my attention that he just like instantly puts up 100 yards.
Yeah, I think he had like a touchdown randomly last year, but he barely had any usage. Like this was the first game he had like over 20% routes ran or whatever
Yeah.
snaps. So
Well, should we jump into a draft here and yeah, draft the most unexpected fantasy superstars?
let's do it.
Yeah, and by the way, so with the negotiating table, a big thing that we want to make sure we emphasize is that anyone at any time during the show can jump on here, negotiate a trade with us. Obviously, you'd have to be in a fantasy league with us, but a lot of our viewers are in fantasy leagues with us. So yeah, the negotiating table is open. So if at any time, like even if we're doing something else, like we will stop what we're doing to negotiate a trade. So yeah, we want that to be a big part of the show. So yeah, if anyone wants to just come on here and see if they can negotiate a deal, like bring it on. We welcome it.
Now, would you like the one-on-one? And by the way, I have a suggestion actually for
Hmm.
every time that we bring a guy up, that's like this unexpected hit. Let's say like the craziest name we can think of that you would like either be like 50-50 or you would definitely start them over. So name like a stud or a player that's clearly more talented or worth more in like
Yeah.
dynasty that you would say is equal or a better play. Like your stud is the equal or better play.
Okay, so you're saying like bring up like some kind of like more established player that you might be like debating which one to start like this week, for instance.
Like I'll give you an example. It's like okay, Rico Dowdle. Like okay, I'm gonna I'd start him over Derrick Henry.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So
Okay. Oh yeah, I like that. I like that.
that could be a fun way to just bring how
Yeah.
absurd.
Put it in perspective. Yeah. I like that a lot.
So do you want to start us off here?
Gosh, yeah, sure. I'll take the 101. I mean, there are a lot of really good choices here. Um, yeah, I think yeah, a lot of different names I could go with, but I think I have one in mind here. Gosh, it's really close between like two or three guys here. Yeah, I mean QJ was definitely a good suggestion by Jacob. I mean I definitely think he's worthy of the 101 there, especially since he had like four really great weeks in a row. I mean Jake Ferguson would be another one, just with how good he's been, especially in these like high tight end premium leagues. I am gonna say for the 101. I mean, we're talking about like the most shocking, unexpected. I gotta say Darren Waller here.
That's
I mean,
like, yeah, that's mine too. And I don't think it's like it feels like not the right answer, but it is like the most shocking of how
yeah.
he's like.
I mean, he's like back from the dead basically, and like how old is he now? Like 34. I mean, he's like older.
Yeah.
How old is he?
He's 33.
33.
That one's easily the most shocking to me because here's the thing: we were all picking him up with like all of our fab, but like,
well, right, but I mean, part of the reason we were picking him up is just like the idea of him. Like, I mean, part of me was just like hoping to sell him. Like, I didn't even necessarily still want him on my roster going into week one, but I kind of felt like, just like the name brand value and just like the chance that he could be like this year's Jonnu Smith in the exact same role. But like, I didn't believe it was actually going to happen.
No, yeah, like not like this, in at least like a ramp up period. Like he just goes out there immediately and he's just like dominating.
I mean, rolls off the couch, catches 2 touchdowns on like what, like a dozen snaps or like something stupid like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just been crazy. So
and then he follows it up with even a more legitimate game where he had like what, like 4 catches for like 78 yards or something crazy.
Yeah,
so
he had 5 catches in the first half, and then they were up. So and then they had him on a snap count again. So it's like
yeah, but he did play more snaps, and it'll probably just continue going up. But clearly, like even if he's never like a 90, 100% snap player. Like clearly he's shown like he can produce on less than a full allotment of snaps.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with him. I have him in like it feels like half my league. Like I got him in because I just was like adding him like crazy. If not, I must have him in like if I'm in what am I in like 18 leagues? I got him in like at least 8 leagues. So I
Yeah, I mean,
don't know what to
I
do.
probably dropped him in like 3 leagues, like in between like week 1 and like, just before his breakout, like in week 3. I mean, this guy couldn't even get on the field. I was just like, okay, I was just thinking like, this is a lost
Yeah.
cause. Like in my lesser tight end premium leagues, like where I'm, thin on roster room, like I'm just going to cut this guy. I did manage to trade him in the crazy tight end premium league for a couple thirds, but that's because it's like 6 PPR for tight ends. Trade him to Seb. I'm sure he's pretty happy with that deal. But hey, 2/3 isn't too shabby. And then I think I only kept him in like 2 dynasty leagues, but one is a 1.0 tight end premium, and the other is 0.75. So at least I kept him in the right leagues. But man, I'm mad that I dropped him
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah, I was even shocked when like it was no tight end premium, but I was like still I think I put like at least a few bucks on him and blood
Yeah,
sweat
and
and
blood, sweat, and
tears.
tears. Yeah, you picked him up
Uh,
and paid off.
because maybe I'll just go like I don't know. Maybe I was like maybe if someone wants Laporta off a big week, even though I got him stacked with Goff, I might have a chance to trade or whatever. But yeah, I don't even know what to do. Like is he a sell? Is he a buy? Is he maybe a
Yeah, I
little
mean,
bit of
I
all?
I even got like a trade offer on Darren Waller, and no pun intended. So that's the 0.75 tight end premium league. And I mean, it was a crappy offer. He was trying to give me like Tank Dell.
Oh
Uh, but then he did say like the guy said like I'd offer you like a third or two, but like I don't have any. So clearly didn't want to give a second. But like honestly, like I mean, this is a 14 team league. Even if he had offered a second, okay, so a second in a 14 team league, that's going to be between picks 15 in the rookie draft and pick 28. You know what I mean? So it's just like even that isn't like that exciting in a 0.75. So like even if he had offered a second, I still probably would have needed like a Trevor Etienne or something thrown on top to really get me excited about that.
yeah, I mean it would be nice to get something like that thrown in. I mean yeah, if I could get a second for him and something like I'm just as long as they don't as long as I'm not relying on them, as long as they got like other actual replacements, it's not gonna
Well,
kill
yeah, in
my
most leagues, I would
team.
agree with you, but with it being 14 team league,
Yeah.
and the talent spread out a little thinner, like Darren Waller is like a very, very relevant player. I mean, he's gonna be like
Yeah, oh
living
yeah.
in my flex spot or tight end slot for the foreseeable future. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like a big part. I mean, crazy. I mean, it sounds nuts, but like he's gonna be a big part of my lineup moving forward, at least until he gets injured or turns back into a pumpkin here.
Yeah, the 14 team league, like, yeah, that certainly, makes sense and all.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in general, like, I'd probably take a couple third. It just depends, because, like, if you do really need them, like, okay, maybe you could still trade them down the road for that, but you're dealing with bye weeks and injuries, and you kind of want to hang on to them. I certainly understand that
Yeah.
for some other leagues.
By the way, we got Seb in the chat. He says, I am happy with it, Dan. Thank you very much. Yeah, referring to Seb getting him in the crazy tight end premium league. So, yeah, he's getting Darren Waller with his catches being worth 6 PPR. So I'm sure
Oh, man.
Seb is very happy about that trade. So, hey, I'm glad at least it's helping Seb rather than just some rando in the league.
Yeah.
Seb also says, Blake in the all-in league, Jeff just ordered Shakir/Tracy for a third/Adams. Thoughts on that? Can't really ask Chase right now. He's inside meeting thing, but thoughts on that? Okay, so this is in the all-in
Yeah.
league.
This is
Um,
this is like a break room clone, essentially.
okay, so break room is 12 teams, start 11, PPR, Superflex, tight end premium of 1.0.
Yeah, and basically I'm just seeing that, and yeah, I mean Jacob sums it up well. You know, hey, I know people like Shakir out there. He's doing basically what I figured he'd do. He's doing his Khalil Shakir thing. He actually kind of did score a big touchdown one week, which was I guess he can do that still, and he still didn't have like a big week, but like he had a good week, but he Khalil Shakir is just Khalil Shakir, so like I'd probably rather have a third in Tracy is fair. But yeah, give me Adams over Shakir all day. Like Adams is actually a potential difference maker in the
Yeah.
lineup each week. Like I'm keeping him 100%. I'm not trading him
By the
for
way,
Khalil
I love
Shakir.
trading for Devonte Adams this week because he is playing the Ravens, and
Yeah,
I just saw some like stat that like basically they have like the worst defense in the NFL like by far. So, I mean, Adams could go nuts this week. The only problem is I wish Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming he's going to be out. I guess there's a chance he could play, but assuming Lamar Jackson is out again, the only problem is like the Rams could be up by so much that they're not going to have to like throw much in the second half. But I don't care. Like I think I could see Adams going off this week.
Yeah, he still can go off. But yeah, Lamar, like, it's good. You want, if you, for your players that are playing the Ravens, you want Lamar back in the game so
Right.
that, yeah, it could be like this, like, true
Could be
shootouts.
competitive. Yeah. Shootout.
Yeah, they have, like, everyone's hurt. They're missing, like, 4 all-pro defenders, so it's, like,
Yeah.
really, really bad for them right now. But, yeah, Jacob agreed, and then, Adams has been cooking. Yeah, he's been racky. It's funny. He's been pretty inefficient per target. Like they're just not hitting on all of them. But the targets have been there. If those ever click, I mean, he's already like a borderline wide receiver one. I mean, we're talking about like like high end, basically like a discount. Puka is basically like what he also is. The volume's not as much, of course, but
Yeah, like in a
it's a lot
shallow
less.
league, someone offered me for Devonte Adams a second, a fourth, and some fab, and I just really wasn't that interested. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I really love Adams. But just to be clear, what side was Seb being offered? The Shakir Tracy side is what he would get if he accepted.
Yeah, he just said that he was offered Shakir and Tracy for a third and Adams. I know
Yeah,
he has Adams in there, so yeah. I mean, I'm keeping Adams all day personally.
yeah. I mean, the only exception would be if you don't feel like that great about your team and you're maybe trying to get a little younger or look to the future a bit while still kind of staying competitive, I could see, how that could make some sense going from Adams to Shakir. But if you're trying to win a championship, like you want Devonte Adams.
Even if like he's a literal rebuilder, I'm still not. Like I'm going to someone else. Like I actually just traded me and Andrew just traded Adams for Torrey Horton and a second. And
Yeah.
maybe we got a fourth on top. Yeah, we got a fourth on top of that. We traded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adams for a second, Horton and a fourth.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
With
the
the
kind of
27
deal I'm trying to
second.
make with Adams. I'm not
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
look at Khalil Shakir. Like screw him. Like I
Yeah.
don't
I
want
mean,
him.
even with the second being in 27, I still really like that deal for you. And I can see how it appealed to the other owner as well.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the kind of deal I'd make if that was like if he wanted to move off Adams. I think that's the best kind of deal you can make in all of fantasy, coming off a guy that's like a veteran like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that'd be a good counter. Is like if he has like a Torrey Horton type on his bench, counter for like a second and Horton, giving him Adams. If you can afford to lose Adams, of
Yeah.
course. If not, just keep him.
If not, I would really just say like knowing Seb's team there, it's pretty good. But
Yeah,
I'm lucky. Just hang on to him, and then once you're
or
out of
just
it, then do
just
that.
hang on to him one more week because like if he has a
Yeah.
monster game this week, like I suspect, like you get even more for him in a trade. So like, I might want to even if you're planning on trading Adams, like I might wait just one more week.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I'm saying with Waller. You might you might actually be tempted to take whatever's available for him right now, but like just ride it for now. Hope he
Yeah.
doesn't get hurt, and maybe you cash that out later when you don't need him.
Yeah, because if
So
someone is just like offering, I mean, at least in a 14 team league, like a third or even like a couple thirds, like I don't know. I mean, like I maybe it's just because it's a 14 team league. Like in a regular league, I mean, two-thirds would be compelling. But if it's just like a single third or something, like what does that even do for me? Like
yeah,
if I'm using Waller, like that doesn't even interest me that much.
yeah. Let's get back on track here for the draft. The
Yeah,
102, I'll say is QJ. I mean, they drafted 2 receivers. He got hurt in the preseason and absolutely, uh, just killed, and then comes out of nowhere from the grave. And yeah, I mean, he's just been phenomenal. So I'm interested to see how this receiver room unfolds between all 3 of the receivers. It's just so funny, that. Like QJ's like actually the most random guy. There's really nothing to support QJ other than, hey, he scored like 40% of his fantasy points last year in his last 2 weeks. Okay, like that's cool and all, but like we see that all the time of like people, whether it was, that was telling or not. I mean, I still don't even know if that was telling or not. Really, like it could be, but Quentin Johnston like is just a new receiver like this year. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. They were passing the ball a ton, which certainly helps. And even with Keenan Allen there, like that's the craziest part is he's doing it with Keenan Allen like being really really solid, which just felt like it would be unlikely. So like even more unlikely than just with Lad. So yeah, I don't know. I'm buying it until proven otherwise. With QJ, I just
Yeah.
traded for him. Yeah, like in the listener league, and at least gave at least a first credit on him in the deal. Um, I don't know. Like, I guess he's the most perfect kind of a guy of like, I'm not shocked if he just turns kind of like closer back to himself, but I'm also just not as shocked if he keeps progressing and taking steps forward and becoming like a legitimate wide receiver one. Like he might already be that for the Chargers. So
Mhm.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on QJ?
It seems like it's legit. I mean, I'm buying into it. Yeah, I mean, for him to kind of, at least for the moment, like become the alpha there ahead of guys like Ladd, who was a absolute stud as a rookie, and Keenan Allen, who's just kind of, kind of a goat, savvy veteran, who can still command targets and get open and make plays. So that says a lot to me. And yeah, he's in a great offense. They do have the offensive line issues at the moment, so it makes me like a little nervous about the offense. But I'm definitely buying QJ at this point. And yeah, what do you think? Like, do you want to go a little more like rapid,
Yeah.
like kind of rapid fire style for like the rest of these, and then we can kind of get into sending out some trade offers because I
Yeah.
definitely want that to be kind of the focus of the negotiating table.
Yeah, for sure. We'll certainly get to offers. I just want to mention one thing quick about just like about the Chargers situation, but against like I would put it to the Ibuka one because actually those guys in that fantasy points video were talking about the Buccaneers receiver room, which I think is very similar to I guess like Ibuka's situation has some parallels to say Lads. Now it's not one for one, but there is one thing like anytime no one is questioning like when no one in the world is questioning something that should definitely be questioned, that's something that definitely hurts a player, and
Mhm.
everyone's just saying no, it doesn't matter. Like that's a pretty clear like you should be skeptical. It doesn't mean you need to fade them or
Mhm.
like all yeah they're an auto fade. Like you should definitely be skeptical when people are like so bought in or so overconfident that nothing can affect this player. And like I think that's the lesson to learn from Lad through 5 weeks. Again, he can absolutely bounce back, but like I don't want to say that like Quentin Johnson has nothing to do with that. By the way, like he just has come out of nowhere. They did draft two receivers. Again, I don't think that's the big one, but at least Keenan Allen, like people said, that'll do nothing. I mean that the combination of that and everything else that's happened there has clearly affected Lad. So just I feel like there's a lesson there. It doesn't mean Lad's bad, but when there's a lot of mouths to feed, like it's you should at least think about it and question it. So I mean, I was buying Lad. Like I mean, I'm victim to this. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think that it's like the echo chamber, all the offseason stuff. People just say no, he's too talented to do that. It can be true. Like they can be really talented, but not all the time. You can overcome this. When there's a lot of mouths to feed or whatever it is,
Yeah,
someone
because I
very
mean,
directly.
Ladd can still be a really good, talented player that's like really good at getting open, but so is Keenan Allen, and now apparently like so is QJ. So when you add like essentially like two really good receivers next to Ladd this season, Ladd can still be good, but he's still going to get less targets and less volume just because like two other really good players are there now. And I guess technically QJ was there last year, but seems like a whole different player now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want to say that that's like some lesson learned. Like no one was buying QJ, so like that is like the unexpected part. But I don't know. Maybe I guess we should have considered like at least a tiny bit of third year breakout, or at least in the form of okay, maybe that could have been what Trey Harris was doing, or to some degree, right? So Jacob
Yeah,
mentions a Buka, and that's what I quickly wanted to mention.
right.
It's just
Yeah, I was
like
thinking that.
it is like the parallels are all there between Lad and this Ibuka thing. And my point is not like oh my god, like Ibuka's this must sell dude. He's so clearly so talented. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Jefferson comp of like what he can do, like that's all coming to fruition right now. He has all those skill sets. He's clearly a baller. But the one thing is, and I keep hearing this over and over and over again, is like they're like, well, the term you use all the time is like you can't put the genie back in the bottle, but like the thing is like okay, if his route percentage goes down, if his first read target share goes down, there's other players like literally Chris Godwin and Hall of Famer Mike Evans, and then hey, Jalen McMillan. I know people don't put much respect. He's gonna see the field, right? And then heck, maybe Sterling Shepard is like getting like a few snaps. Probably nothing that matters. There are mouths to feed there when everyone's healthy, so it's certainly something that you want to consider. And Jacob's even saying that like he's been just considering that. It sounds like just potentially selling high. So I'm not saying he's an auto, sell or anything like that. But one thing is, it's just like, dude, if they all get out healthy there, like, is he even going to be the wide receiver one for fantasy on their team? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did see Godwin got banged up again or fibula. Who knows?
Oh, did he?
So maybe it never happens. That is one thing to
Right.
consider. Maybe not everyone gets out there and healthy at the same time. They do seem
Yeah.
to be injury prone. But I do want to be like the advocate for just like do not fall for like the rookie he can't be Mike Evans, like he's nothing, he's
Yeah.
washed like that. We do that very often in fantasy, and that is something that you should be very aware of and just not like completely fall for every time.
Yeah, by the way, I hadn't even heard about that Godwin injury. Do we need to pull that offer that we sent out in Walter White's lab? I know he wasn't like a huge part of the trade, but he was definitely a part of it.
Certainly check that out right now.
Yeah, and you can even screen share and like pull it up just so like people can see what you're
Yeah.
actually doing.
I don't know how big of it just said he's dealing with a fibula injury, so like
Okay.
that's not what you want to hear.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with his injury history and the fact that he just came back and like now he's already dealing with something, it definitely makes you a little nervous. I mean, I was just saying that I thought Godwin might be like kind of a sneaky buy low right now. So yeah, that is not what you want to hear.
Yeah, it would be weird they wouldn't say ankle, but like to me, like fibula injury would just be like that's very possibly like just his injury he had before. I'm not sure because it could be the lower part of that fibula.
Yeah, so it looks like he missed practice on Wednesday. Let's see. So yeah, I don't know if the injury happened during the game.
Honestly, I'd probably still be good with this as long as it's not like a immediate season-ending injury for
Okay.
Godwin. You know what I mean?
Did we hear anything back from those two managers that we sent offers to?
No. We'll
Okay.
have to check in on whoever the other one was, but I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
hear anything back on that one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can worry
we'll-
about that later.
We'll resume. Oh, we will resume. Maybe.
But yeah,
Let's make
I
it
mean,
on
the
here.
sleeper blurb, for whatever it's worth, I don't know if it's written by AI or what, but it says that, yeah, the fibula issue, and which sounds like an injury that could sideline him in week 6. But, it says, it's only Wednesday, so fantasy managers shouldn't jump to conclusions. Yeah, so that's up in the air, but
Yeah, Ibuka is like the black magic. I mean, he's just it's like the CMC thing. He's like sucking the souls out of these people. Doing some
Right.
blood ritual. Who knows? So, maybe it just continues, and like that's a legitimate thing. If they are all healthy, I do just say that be cautious of that.
yeah, it could kind of turn into a lad situation potentially. I mean, at least
to a
in the range
degree.
of
I'm
outcomes.
not saying he's gonna score 11 points a game or something like that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be expecting.
But yeah,
a
it could
wide
be
receiver
affected
three
a little
overall.
bit.
I mean, yeah. If anything happens, like it's very hard to maintain wide receiver 3 overall to anyone.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, should we get back to the draft here? Kind of go rapid fire
Yeah.
through the rest of this, and then we can get into sending out some offers.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's do
All
it.
right, so we're on. I am up at the 103, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say Daniel Jones here. I mean, I know he's someone that he was on our radar to some degree, and I mean, it was kind of like a QB competition between him and Anthony Richardson, and it was kind of going back and forth over the offseason. But still, I mean, like, where does Daniel Jones rank among quarterbacks? I mean, it's definitely better than anyone expected, and
Yeah.
we may have
He's
let's see.
QB8.
QB8. Okay, yeah. So I mean, that's kind of insane. So I mean, we probably would have said like it's in the range of outcomes that he could be like the next Sam Darnold / Baker Mayfield / like Jared Goff or whatever. But I mean, he's like truly doing it. I mean, like I don't think any of us like actually expected this to happen or be particularly likely to happen. So and he's just like kept doing it like week after week. I mean, I own him in 2 leagues, and he's pretty much just like an auto star. Like I don't even look at the matchup. Like he's just like living in the either QB or super flex spot. Yeah, he's been great. So yeah, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, you know, and I'll actually, yeah, I mean, I'm shocked by Daniel Jones. I've bought a Daniel Jones since. I luckily had one sitting around this offseason as well. Yeah, I mean, like they didn't punt the first 3 games, so like that is just like,
It's
you know, like
crazy.
no quarterback has been doing that or offense throughout the league. So I mean, like just the extent of how good he's been, it's been
Yeah,
absolutely shocking. That entire offense has been rolling, you know, Jonathan Taylor included.
yeah.
Um, but
Oh, by the way, like, weren't we gonna bring up like sleeper and
oh
actually,
yeah,
yeah,
I would well for Waller you could put him ahead of like Bowers because Bowers might not play, but that one's a good comp if you
oh,
want to
because
use
we were
like
gonna
one of their
say
guys.
like for each player, like what's like a more established player
If
that like.
Bowers hobbles out on that field this week, he's starting Waller over him.
I mean, that's such a wild question. Oh my god. I mean, I don't know if I could bring myself to do it. Maybe I'd have to like flex one of them, even if it wasn't like tight end premium. I don't know. Like that's
Well,
crazy.
yeah, I mean Bowers not been like awful, but he's just been like not Brock Bowers. He's clearly hurt and just yeah some weird stuff going on there.
Yeah,
But dude,
which just further emphasizes why you shouldn't take a tight end early in most redraft leagues.
yeah, and dude, by the way, I like I've already gotten that point with Waller for whatever reason. Like it's because I have him in a lot of leagues, so I had a lot of opportunities to put him out there.
Hmm.
But like, dude, I had him out there in like 4 lineups somehow because of bye weeks and injuries, and I was just
Oh, wow.
like I was rolling him over like Hawkinson and stuff like that, and it's like not like Hawkinson's been good, but yeah, I mean like Waller's pretty high in my rankings and 10 premium right now. Like I'm trying to get him out in every lineup and just ride this, see what happens. I will say
Yeah.
honorable mention by the way to Mac Jones because it won't, you know, Purdy's gonna come back. He's got 23 points per game in his 3 games
Wow.
started.
Yeah.
So I mean, like for reference, that's you know, what Daniel Jones has 21 points per game. So I mean, just on
Yeah.
like a crazy level, he's doing it with no receivers. So uh,
Yeah, I mean, he didn't even have to be an honorable mention. I mean, I think he could have been in this draft. That's a good one. Yeah, we didn't even write his name down before the stream started. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I have Purdy as my quarterback in my home redraft league, and yeah, I even started Mac Jones one week, and he was great. So yeah, I can totally
yeah.
vouch for that.
Yeah, I'd start him. I'd have to see matchups. I'd start him over like. I mean, if CJ Stroud had like a non-Ravens matchup, I'd start him over like CJ Stroud, for example.
Yeah. So are you going to screen share and pull up like a sleeper draft?
Oh, I've been doing that. I guess you just can't see it.
Oh yeah, is there? Can you show it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, you've been doing it all along though. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
So I'll do the 104. We'll leave just Mac Jones as an honorable mention just because he's like I don't know. He's like Purdy might come back. He might not. But he's been
Or you
really
can just, or you can just, or you can just throw him into the 104. I mean, we talked about him. Want to just throw him in there?
well. I just wouldn't put him at my 104 is all.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Maybe
So
we'll throw him on at the end or something.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
mine. I mean, this one. This has got to be mine. It's Javonte Williams who. I mean,
Yeah.
like I just couldn't imagine that he like looks like a good running back. They have a bunch of what's been even more crazy to make him the 104 is like not only is he what like the RB3 or something, RB2 actually. I mean that is insane. But that line or that Cowboys like O line, there was not great reports of where they'd be ranked and stuff. And then they were also dealing with like multiple injuries. So that O line's been playing really good. Jamonte's actually looking good. Again, it took him like 3 years. He had not ran for over 70 yards in a game since that injury of his, in like since like 2022.
Mhm.
And what he's probably done it quite a few times. I mean, he's done it what every single game since week 2. So like, yeah, I mean like I'm clearly buying it. He just keeps scoring points. I am so glad it felt. This is when you're saying like what to do with these guys that are just popping out of nowhere. I think Javonte Williams, like at least what I did with him in one league, I had him in none, unfortunately. Is I just went and I just traded Chase Brown for Javonte after two weeks,
Yeah.
and I just said, well, shit, like Burrow isn't even on. He's not going to play another snap in the fantasy season. Yeah. Javonte's doing what I hope Chase Brown did.
Yeah.
To me, that was good enough logic to just make the swap. I even got a small, tiny plus. Didn't even matter. And that trade is obviously aging very, very well. I mean, geez, I wish I just bought high on more Javonte Williams. With
Mm-hmm.
that being said, uh, yeah, I mean, Javante could get another contract. He could stay with the team. Who knows what can happen? He's certainly a guy that you could yeah, trade for it in the future. But very impressed with him. Yeah, I'd start him over Derrick Henry. I'd start him. Geez, I'd start him over just about every running back, not named CMC and like, maybe like James Cook. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever else, JT.
Yeah, I mean, he's been unbelievable. I don't have a single share. Yeah, I haven't really tried to trade for him. Actually, I may have sent out like one offer, and yeah, the manager wasn't really interested, even though they seemed like more of a rebuilder. So that was kind of weird. So yeah, even the rebuilders don't want to, trade away Javante Williams at this point. But I think you were smart to do what you did like right away and just like adjust quicker than most of the market did. So good
Yeah,
on you.
yeah. Um,
All right, so I'm up at the 105 here. Yeah, again, another tough choice here. I think I have to say Rico Dottle here. I mean, you run for 200 yards in a game. Like, yeah, you got to be like in the top five here for me. So, I mean, he's a guy that just never got any respect. I mean, but he was really good last year. And then, he goes to the Panthers in the offseason. And, after Chuba Hubbard had already established himself last year and then signed like the big contract extension. So, I mean, Rico Dottle was going to be nothing more than a handcuff at best. And then on top of that, they go and draft Trevor Etienne in fourth round of the NFL draft. So you kind of have him in the mix. So now you're even kind of wondering, like, okay, is Rico Dottle even 100% going to be the backup? I mean, maybe is to start the year, but like, how long does he hold off Trevor Etienne? And then you still have Jonathan Brooks. Remember him, who the Panthers drafted in first round of the NFL draft a year ago? So it's just like, yeah, they have all these running backs there. But yeah, I liked Rico Dottle. I mean, I'm pretty sure I owned him in at least like one league last year. He was awesome. And yeah, like I mean, I think there were some smart people that like still kind of cared about him as like a high upside handcuff, but I think the market largely just kind of forgot about him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a guy. Even like I would say I like Dowdle, but I really liked ETN as well because he was in the fourth round of rookie drafts. In fact, like you could get him basically like undrafted in a lot of the ones. He didn't even have an ADP. So like to me, I have so much of every single Carolina backfield guy. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
I had a bunch of Chuba and yeah ETN and
Right.
Dowdle.
Right.
Yeah, I'm certainly everyone's surprised about what Dowdle did. And with that being said, like I was expecting like like a good game. When I traded for Hubbard, there was a moment where I'm like, oh my god, like I forgot to get Dowdle off Seb, and I'm like, dude, like I'm like, yeah, let's make a trade right now. Like, I gotta go get Dowdle, like, dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's a must start when he's out there.
Mhm.
Luckily, I was mistaken. I already had him. Yeah, I fired him up in all my like over some big names too. Like I think I started him over Kamara in a league. So like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he. There's something going on there. Carolina, those Carolina backs. We say that about Arizona.
Yeah.
You want Carolina running backs is what you want.
Okay.
By the way, so Duddle's just a good player. I think like he's very underrated and is a must
Yeah.
start when Hubbard's out. Like no doubt about
Yeah.
that. So I
But still, I mean, like, I
big
never
surprise,
imagined him
though.
just like jumping in there and like out of nowhere, like running for over 200 yards. And then he also had like what, like 30 or 40 yards receiving. I
Oh
mean, just an absolute, week winner.
yeah,
I mean,
oh
it's
yeah.
just, I
He
mean,
was
anyone that started Dottle, like, pretty much like won their matchup. So I did not see that coming. So
yeah.
he's got to be in the top five here for me. But
Almost everyone. I somehow managed to lose one with Dowdle in it, of course, but
did you? Okay.
he was probably RB1 on the week or very close to it, if not. I mean,
Yeah.
monster game. I certainly wasn't expecting
Right.
that game. That's for sure. 100.
Yeah, I mean, we would have been happy with like half of that. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
really wild that he has like a 200-yard game. I mean, I'm not even sure like how many players in NFL history have like run for over 200 yards. Like, I'm not even, I mean, I'm sure it's like, maybe a few dozen or I don't know, but like it's not too many, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's like some obscure names that have like done it randomly too. Like Rico
Sure.
Dowdle's a perfect example, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's you don't see that. You
It
might
doesn't
see it
happen
one or
every
two
day,
times a
obviously.
season.
So, I mean, that is pretty, it catches
Yeah,
your attention
yeah, that
when
was like
someone running back goes for over 200.
just an insane game there. But
Yeah.
Nahal,
But yeah, you are up at the 106 now.
yeah, Nahal is in. What's up?
Oh, yeah.
He says,
Welcome.
and yeah, welcome
have you
in,
here.
Nahal. He says he suspected all three uh, of these players But Odunze, Debo, and Pittman could be up there somewhere. Yeah, I mean, actually, we have actually, yeah. There's certainly one. We did want to keep it relatively cheap players, but spoiler alert, Pittman certainly was a candidate for this, and probably will
Yeah.
be on here. As well, because he's a perfect and Debo I think is actually a great one too. We didn't have him on the list, but
Yeah, I think
I think
Debo could
Debo's
qualify for this. So yeah, maybe he'll make an appearance here.
yeah, I definitely think he should qualify as well. So I am up. Let me pull up the list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, still a lot of really good choices left here.
yeah. I'm gonna do this one. This guy's the most borderline because like again, he wasn't like ridiculously cheap. He was super attainable though, and
Yeah.
I mean he's literally like one of the best players in all of fantasy right now, especially if you're playing in
Oh yeah,
tough
I
leagues
mean, if
for
you
him.
own him, he is not boring at all. I mean,
No.
even in Blood, Sweat, and Beers, which is not even a tight end premium league, I got him like living in my flex spot, and he's been awesome. Because Tyler Warren's my tight end, so the fact that he's just like living in a flex in a non tight end premium league like tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah, like he yeah, I want to pull up the stats real quick and just like a half tight end premium. So it's like not ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean like 21 points per game. Like for reference,
Wow.
that's more than James Cook scoring by 2 points. So like,
Wow.
and more than Gibbs by 2 points. I mean it's been ridiculous. The volume's been
Yeah,
there.
and that's only a half tight end premium.
That's just a
Imagine
half.
0.75 or 1.0.
I believe he's at 24 or 25 points per game in those. I mean that is literally what Puka's doing. It's absolutely insane. He's so
Mm.
hard to know what to do. I mean, maybe we can talk about what to do with him. But yeah. I mean, it's almost impossible to just, like trade him away when you have him and if you're contending right now
Yeah.
because like, why would you add to go get like Brock Bowers? Who again, I know it's a good dynasty move, but like you still have to go add like a first plus on top of Jake Ferguson, who's destroying Bowers right now, and Bowers is hurt. And it just doesn't make sense to do it because you can just keep your other assets. Like you're not losing or missing out if Ferguson cools down. He should cool down. I mean, this is ridiculous. If he doesn't cool down, he's the tight end one in dynasty. So I am shocked at how good he's doing. I think everyone is. When you add it all up together in hindsight, though, it makes sense that
Mm.
any pass catcher in Dallas is doing really well, though.
Yeah. And obviously, like players on this list, I mean, it's not like, oh, it's like the most shocking thing that's like ever happened. Like, yeah, some of them, like we could imagine this as like the 100th percentile outcome or something like that, but still pretty surprising for it to actually happen.
Yeah. I mean, this outcome for Ferguson. I mean, this honestly could be like the 101 just for like, just how crazy he's been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay, and this next one, I don't even think this one has been like talked about that much. Now, I don't own any shares of him. I don't think you do either, Blake. So it's probably why we just like haven't talked about him at all. But he is the tight end 9 right now, at least I'm looking in a league that's 0.75 tight end premium. Kyle Pitts. I mean, you want to talk about a player just like absolutely left for dead. And yeah, speaking of tight ends, we'll keep the tight end theme going here. I mean, he's just a player that, I mean, like every year it's okay, this is going to be the Kyle Pitts year. Nope, he disappointed again. Like how many times am I going to get fooled by this guy? I did own him in that crazy tight end premium league, that 6 PPR for tight ends. And I traded him to Seb in that league as well. I did get Jamar Chase in the deal. So I can't be too mad about that. There were some other pieces involved as well. But yeah, Seb's doing pretty well with that one too. So, but yeah, I mean, he's just a guy that was just absolutely left for dead. No one cared about. And quietly, he's like the tight end 9 right now. I mean, depending on your scoring.
Yeah, like he's been certainly startable every week, which is really good. It's been one of those ones where like hopefully you're in a heavy tight end premium. If you're in like full PPR, like you're probably not like too excited or like if it's not a tight end premium. 0.52, I would like maybe like 14, 15 points per game, which is really really solid. So yeah, I mean he's been completely left for dead. I mean, he did start this. I am a little skeptical. Like he was this good last year. At this, I mean, up until
That's right. He did start well last
he
year.
was
That is
doing
true.
like better last year than he is doing right now. At
Yeah.
least through weeks 7, 8, or something like
Yeah,
that.
because I
So
think there was a point where like you were offered like a first for him in like a high tight end premium
yeah,
league, and like you turned it down, and at the time it was understandable.
yeah. I mean, dude, like we were trying to get JSN for him. They were at the time. JSN was very, very like cold. He was coming off a few bad games, and I was like, dude, Kyle Pitts is coming off like a 30 bomb. Like you should be straight swapping these guys. Now it went completely separate. Those guys' trajectories after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to completely write off Pitts because he had a good start to season last year. I mean, he doesn't. The situation's changed. He has a different quarterback, so I'm more inclined to believe that this maintains. I'd have to look more into him. Yeah, I just haven't. I've known he's been doing good, but I haven't been like interested in trading for him because his name's
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts. And here's the thing: people, once he is doing stuff, like then people care about him. So you gotta have him before he. You need to buy him when he's trash, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it was just a hard player to get behind this offseason because it's just like, oh man,
Yeah.
like it's just a guy that you're just kind of like mentally and emotionally done with. So
Yeah.
I think just because of that, just like the hatred for Kyle Pitts that was out there, the
Yeah.
fact that he's actually like a fantasy relevant tight end, like top 10 tight end, I thought he had to be like at least in the first round on this list.
Yeah, and you know what though? Like the one thing is that like he was going ahead of guys like Jake Ferguson. Hey, far ahead of Darren Waller. Our biggest surprise, of course, because he was about free.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like Hunter Henry's been a big shock too. Obviously, Jawan Johnson. So like he's in that realm. He was just more an expensive one that like you felt like I don't know. I mean that was basically my logic. Like I'd rather have any tight end basically going later than him. I think they can score the same or later. So not all those will have worked out, but Pitts has certainly been outdoing our expectations so far.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he didn't need to be like quite this high, but he was just a player that came to mind in terms of just in terms of like the level of hatred for him, at
Yeah.
least amongst like in the dynasty community and just like smart people like wanting nothing to do with them. I think is one of the more surprising outcomes for me personally.
Yeah, very difficult to like start picking from some of these guys, but this is just one again. Like people didn't care at all. Like I remember Twitter when this happened, and like I know that I've been like Keenan Allen guy this offseason. Dan and you and I got him for like literally free in the offseason in our shared league, and yeah, I just tried to basically like I was just drafting him anytime it was like hitting round 20 and like startups and stuff like that, and uh, just out of belief that he could sign a deal, and then I mean, hey, the dream scenario happens where he goes back with the Chargers, and it was like no one cared. It was like it was just like as if he went and signed with. I would get it if he signed with like the Pittsburgh Steelers or something, or some random team. But like he literally has played for the Chargers his entire career, minus what 1 year with the Bears, and then has played with Justin Herbert for many years. Like I don't know. To me, it just like makes too much sense that like Keenan Allen would clearly be like a flexible player, and he's been more than that. He's been like 15 points per game throughout the beginning
Oh
of
yeah.
the season. So I mean, yeah, he was free in all formats. I'd certainly put him up here. He could even be higher just for how free he was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we liked him, but again, like I don't think we necessarily expected him to be this good, even like outproducing Lad McConkey. So that is pretty surprising.
Yeah. And then you were up.
And then for the next player, I mean, this is again just like a 1 week thing, but just in terms of like how random and unexpected it is, I feel like he's got to be pretty high on this list. I'm going to go with Kenneth Gainwell. So they had the bye this past week, but before that, 19 carries, 99 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 6 catches, 35 receiving yards, basically over like 30 fantasy points and full PPR league. I mean, that was wild. I'd even had him like sitting on my bench in the Crazy Tight End Premium League, and I ended up dropping him like a week before that breakout. So I don't know what's going to happen after the bye week. Like I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm kind of assuming Jaylen Warren's going to be healthy coming out of the bye. I don't know that for sure, but I don't know. Like could Gainwell have like earned a bit of a role here? But regardless, just as like a handcuff and kind of that Rico Dottle way, like I mean, you kind of have to like view him as like an attractive handcuff to own. Maybe even has earned some kind of role moving forward. But I just had never imagined a game like this coming from Kenneth Gainwell. I mean, if you had
Yeah.
like ranked handcuffs in the NFL, I mean, you may not have even have had him on the list because like, is he even the RB2 in Pittsburgh? I mean, the fact that he's ahead of Caleb Johnson is absolute nuts.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a funny one because like I've been a big Kenneth Gainwell guy since his rookie season, and this is truly the year I've just given up. Like, I mean,
Right.
dude, I mean, I even had him on some rosters, and I just like cut him at like some point in this offseason when rookies came in or something.
Yeah.
But like, dude, like he's actually been like he's unbelievably been a really good point per touch guy. He just never touches the ball, so like I guess I'm not like too shocked, like kind of in the Dowdle way. We're like, okay, if he gets a ton of work like Kenny Gainwell is a guy. Okay, if you make him a workhorse, he'll be a really good fantasy back. He does everything you want out of a fantasy back. But he actually did get the work finally. Of course, it took an injury, so like I'm not like shocked in that way. But like it finally happened. We've been waiting for that for like what, like 5, 6 years. I remember like his rookie year in redraft. Like I had him stashed on all my things, just waiting for the Miles Sanders downfall and Kenny
Right.
Gainwell to break out because he had all the tools. Um,
And
so
he,
yeah,
and he
I
showed
mean,
flashes, and I always kind of liked him too, but yeah, he just never quite like earned like a consistent role, and he was never became like a consistently fantasy relevant player. It just like never quite happened. And then yeah, you finally like give up on the guy. And then yeah, out of nowhere we get this. So yeah, that was one of the more shocking big weeks that I've seen. And I mean, who knows? Like it'll be interesting to see if he has any kind of role moving forward. But at the minimum, he's
yeah,
definitely a handcuff that you're really happy to own.
yeah, he's had a little bit of a role, like maybe it's there a little bit too, because Warren might be again still banged up, but yeah, I mean, I'm really like not. I mean, maybe I should be more interested because again, I just said like how it's not surprising the fact that he can catch the football, he has all these tools,
Yeah.
but like, again, there is still Caleb Johnson at maybe some point resurrects and is actually getting some touches, so yeah, how do you get Kenneth Gainwell if you don't own him? That's a great question. You probably just want to let Jalen Warren go out there and score some points first, and then go get Warren or
Yeah, and then when
Gainwell
he's
for free.
back to just being like a pure
Yeah,
handcuff, like maybe get him thrown into a deal.
I don't really have any expectations for Gainwell to do anything like that again, unless Warren is out, basically. So
Yeah, but he's definitely a player I don't mind getting thrown into a deal. Whereas like previous to that, I'd just be like, he's just like a roster clogger.
yeah, I'm gonna put Kincaid on here now, just because
Yeah,
he's been again tight end premium, really really sneaky good. Um, and yeah, I mean, like, look, he was a guy that I've just been so against in the past, like, calendar year. Uh, he just wasn't scoring points. He was hurt. And then a flip switched with him at some point this offseason. And I think it was in a listener league. I was very, very, very close to getting him. I can't remember if I passed on him or if he went just before, like, because I needed to get Charbonnet having K9 or whatever, and he
yeah,
was a big one. But Kincaid was like my top guy if I didn't own like K9 or something like that. It's funny, like you should want the hand. I don't know. I want the handcuff in the Seahawks one more when I have like K9. But Kincaid was like such an obvious pick. It's a high tight end premium. It's just like, dude. I mean, okay, this is just a price assuming he sucks, right? Like, assuming he's as bad as he was last year, and we knew he was hurt. So like, yeah, I mean, he was a guy. I ended up like against my own will, just realizing, okay, this is unreasonable how obtainable he is, especially in startups. Maybe it would be a little bit harder to get him off in a trade off a guy that I don't know, traded for him high or took him in the rookie draft. But very strong outing from him so far.
yeah. I mean, he's the tight end 5 in this 0.75 tight end premium league that I'm looking at, and that's what the listener league is. And yeah, I remember during the startup, like yeah, he just fell further than he should have, and he's kind of like that classic example of the post hype sleeper,
Yeah,
and probably shouldn't be as surprising as it is because we see this from tight ends. I mean, they take a while to develop. I guess what was tricky with Kincaid is that he was like good as a rookie, and then he like takes a step back, but it was probably just due to injury in year two, and we really
yeah.
just kind of forgot about that or just sort of glossed over that.
Yeah, I mean, we put him in our Trent and I got him. Luckily, we actually didn't get one in our Blue Tent Bandits team because we got him again like round 11, and it's just like, dude, he's like what we basically ended up by the end of the summer. That was I think my last starter draft. He ended up being my favorite pick in that round because heck, there's not like great players in round 11, especially great young ones or potential great young ones. So.
Hmm.
He also fit our what we ended up naming our team later. We just realized we drafted every injured player from last year, basically, every injury prone tag player, and it's been working out pretty good so far.
Yeah,
So
yeah, just buy the injury dip, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So I am up next. What are we at here? The would this be the 201 or the
yeah,
111?
this would be the 201.
201 here.
Yep.
So yeah, we'll probably just do like one more round here. I will go and we'll do this like faster and faster as
Yeah.
we go on through the draft here. I'm gonna go with Matthew Stafford. I mean, like he's been unbelievable. He's the quarterback 7 right now, at least in scoring, where it's 6 points per passing touchdown. I mean, he was so brutal last year. I owned him in a dynasty league where he was my starter. It was a 16-team league, and it just seemed like he was like allergic to the end zone. Like he would just like never. He would rarely throw touchdown passes. Like Kyron Williams was just like sniping every touchdown when they got in close. And this year, he's just been on fire. And he even had the injury concerns the offseason. And I mean, he was just kind of like left for dead in general. I mean, no one cared about this guy in just about like any format. So him
Yeah.
being the QB 7 through what 5 weeks, like he's got to be on this list.
I didn't even realize how good he was, especially like 6 point passing touchdown. Been very good, and dude, honestly, like anytime we're like talking about some players, is just like buy guys that are hurt, like guys that are just like, I don't know. I mean, we get so scared and so discounted. Just buy players that are hurt. I mean, that's something I'm generally pretty good for. But even again, like Jake Ferguson was spooking me for the better part of these like startups and stuff. I should have went and got more and leaned into that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm gonna say,
Yeah,
you know,
201. Sorry, 202.
I'm still gonna put Juwan again. We're putting some guys like
Yeah,
Dowdle and Game On here. Like Juwan Johnson should be far higher. Just the fact that he put up like 3 of those weeks in a row, whether it sustains or not, is just
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah, if we're putting up Doddle and Gainwell, who had like one big game, like Jawan certainly
yeah,
deserves to be here. Yeah, it's probably just like recency bias why we don't have him higher. But yeah, he has definitely been one of the big surprises this season so far, even if it doesn't last.
yeah, exactly. So gotta put him there.
Yeah. So at the 203, I'm going to go with, let's say, Michael Pittman. I think he's got to be on here. We had
Yeah,
mentioned him earlier. And let's see, I'll try to pull up where he's ranked here real quick. But yeah, that's probably another one where we shouldn't be that surprised because
yeah,
he was dealing with injuries last year. But we just sort of, everyone just wanted to gloss over that and not really um, give him any grace for that. But he's healthy now, and it's like, oh yeah, Michael Pittman's good at football. He's good at being a wide receiver in the NFL. It's like,
yeah,
yeah, we should have known that. So it really shouldn't be that surprising. But yeah, he's been really good. I only have one share of him in like a free, it's like a chopped league
yeah.
that like Randy invited me into. But he's just been living in my lineup. He's the wide receiver 13 right now, full PPR. So yeah, I mean he's kind of low key been a stud.
Yeah, I got one left too. I sold one high after week 1 too. I was just happy to like get some pretty good credit for him in a deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean he's a guy again. Like when I owned a couple shares from before, and it was just like, oh my god, like the burn of the century. It felt like, and I was just like, anytime I want to like trade him away, I just go like, come on, like okay, he had a broken back, like
Yeah.
he literally cannot go be lower than what he is right now, like off the seat. Like
Yeah.
I should just keep him. What that should have been a good hint to like just go buy some. But when you
Right.
own a couple of the players like that no one wants to touch at all,
Yeah.
it's gonna be very difficult to go and actively get more than that. They're basically untradeable. I mean, you
Yeah, and
could
it
not
kind of
get a
gets in your
second for
head
him.
that like, oh, well, like no one wants this player,
Yeah,
so like I shouldn't want them either. But then you're just sort of like subscribing to the group think,
yeah,
and then you lose out on just getting some free value on a player like Michael Pittman. Like, I mean, like he's probably a guy that I mean we could have just like easily bought up everywhere
yeah.
for like not very much, and we'd be like printing money right now if we
You
did that.
could not get a second for him. Like it.
Yeah. So it's
People
like,
laugh
yeah,
at you
we,
like
we
that.
we should have been sending like a third plus for Pittman in like every league.
Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah, I mean that was one like I'd be staring him down in like when someone had him, and I'm just like, I can't do it. Like I can't.
Yeah.
It's like or the startup or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it makes too much sense. He literally is playing off a broken back though.
Yeah, I'm
So
surprised I even drafted him in this chopped league, but I forget how many teams are in. Actually, I think it's 16 teams.
yeah,
So, you're just kind of looking for someone that, might score some points and could like live in your flex. So he kind of made sense in that. But yeah, I think I was kind of finally coming around to the idea that like, hey, you know what? Like, wouldn't be the most shocking thing if he kind of, you know, was a thing again this year because we've seen it before.
yeah. I mean 204 here has got to be Debo, who also Nahal mentioned, and like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean like honestly, it looked like he was cooked. Like,
Yeah.
there really wasn't like many excuses for him last year, right? Now he did get banged up, and then he had like pneumonia, which is certainly not good. But he just never got better throughout the entire course of the season.
Mhm.
Yeah, they move on from him, and again another guy where it was really easy to see the path of like, yeah, he's in a good offense, could have a big role, but just again, a guy that if you owned him, you got burnt really bad last year. Not too much interest in Debo, and he's been freaking awesome. Yeah, wide receiver 9. So
Yeah. Oddly enough, I traded for him in two dynasty leagues this offseason and then ended up trading him away, within, weeks or months because he was just one of those players that like after I traded for him, I just like immediately regretted it. It just like felt awful. And it's
yeah,
like we started hearing the reports that he like looked fat at training camp and everything. It's just like, oh God, like why the hell did I trade for this guy?
yeah,
So I was happy to get rid of him. And then sure enough, he's like awesome this year. So
yeah.
I don't know exactly how long it'll last, just with his age, his injury history. But hey, if you own him, like you're thrilled with what he's been
Yeah,
doing.
I think if you got him, like, I don't know. I
Ride
mean,
him.
I'm just pretty much expecting it until I'm proven otherwise, right? Like, he's just being Debo. Yeah, if he gets hurt or something. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's huge overperformer from
yeah.
expectation.
At the 205 here, I'll stick at wide receiver. I'm going to go Trey Tucker. And you can say, like, oh, he's only had like one big game. But I mean, actually, he has scored double digit fantasy points in 3 of his 5 games. So it's not just one game. I mean, of course, a lot of it was the insane game where he had 3 touchdowns, 145 yards on 8 catches. He's even had a carry and a rushing attempt in all but one game this year, too. So he's even being used that way a little bit. I mean, talk about a player just like I don't even know if we can say left for dead because like was he ever alive? You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
kind of like an irrelevant roster clogger out of nowhere. He's the wide receiver 17 right now. I mean that's insane.
yeah. I mean, like he really was never anything. So
Yeah, exactly, which makes it all the more shocking.
yeah, he's actually he's like a guy who, like randomly had a couple of out of the rookie season, and I remember it was like getting credit for him like like when he had like one big game, and I just like
Mhm.
was like moving on at
Yeah.
that point. So can't say I regret that a couple of years later, but wide
I,
receiver
I
10's hilarious.
I mean, I actually just sent a third round pick for him in the listener league. It is a low buy-in league, and he just kind of like fit my team. I just kind of like needed someone because I haven't, I guess, completely given up on contending, although I probably should. So I don't know, in a more serious league or a higher buy-in league, I should say, because I mean the listener league is definitely a serious league. It's probably my favorite league. But yeah, with a higher buy-in, like I'm not sure I would have done that. But I'm kind of just viewing it, as like a fun league. It's like, oh, what the heck? I don't have any Trey Tucker shares, so I threw a third at him. We'll see how it ages. It was probably a dumb move, but I mean, stranger things have happened than Trey Tucker, being like just kind of like this next like out of nowhere fantasy relevant player. So we'll see.
Yeah, I have no idea what to do with him. I'm kind of interested in him, kind of not. It's like I don't know, but you could certainly do worse for like a flex play.
Yeah. I
Right
think what
in.
kind of like sold me, and like this is a stupid reason to like buy into something, but when people started saying like, oh, he could be like Geno Smith, Tyler Lockett, like all of a sudden it was like, ooh, like that kind of feels like that could be a thing. So yeah, probably a dumb reason to buy into a narrative like that, but I could just like suddenly imagine it when I
Yeah.
heard that comparison.
Great suggestion by Nahal here, a guy that we just like didn't have him on our list, so we're completely overlooking is Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, again, I know we had a lengthy conversation around like a trade. You were gonna get, I don't know, like maybe someone wanted to buy ETN off of you or something. I was even like talking you into like just why would you do that? Like
Yeah,
for whatever the price was, it wasn't like very much. Where it's like, okay, well he could at least be ETN again. Now that being said, I really wasn't buying into like actually ETN himself because Tootin's the most interesting guy to me in that backfield if you
right.
really want to capture some upside. But
Mhm.
ETN, I mean, dude, like you could not have a better path of what's happened, right? I mean, Bigsby gets
Yeah.
traded immediately. I mean, that's just the dream scenario. He's been awesome out there. He's looked good. So, I mean, he should
Mhm.
be a lot higher on this list, honestly. Getting
Yeah, he's the
lucky
running back
there.
13. I mean, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's one of like the most shocking, but I do think he deserves to be on the list just for it working out as well as it has. I mean, yeah, running back 13. He's been like really good. I feel like he's been like pretty consistent too. I don't know. Like I actually don't own him. I had like a share or two at one time this off season, but ended up trading him away. Which I guess doesn't look great. I actually even did draft him in the listener league in the startup draft just because he really fit my zero running back build very well. Yeah, but he has double digit fantasy points in each of the first 4 weeks, and then even this past week. Okay, it's his worst game, but it was still like almost 9 fantasy points. So he's been really consistent too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's another guy. Again, I think the injury on him, like I knew he was hurt, but I didn't realize uh what like I didn't realize when and what. Here's the thing, he wasn't even good before the injury either. So I mean, it was
Mm-hmm.
hard to know with him like exactly what was going on there.
Mm-hmm.
But again, here we go again with another player who was just so disappointing last year and hurt. I mean, we got a pretty big trend going here. Most
Yeah.
of these guys were just hurt last year.
Yeah, and let's stay on running backs for the next pick. What are we on here? The
Seven.
207. Yeah, I'll go with Jalen Warren. I mean, he got hurt, and then of course, yeah, Gainwell kind of stole the spotlight there. But the first 3 weeks, I mean, he was awesome. I mean, still in points per game, he's the RB 15. And again, he was a player who like wasn't healthy last year, and we didn't give him any grace for that. We just held it against him, and everyone just kind of left him for dead. And I mean, I guess like the redraft market kind of came around on him because, or maybe I don't know. I don't know if it was just like smart people, but I remember seeing some streams of some like high stakes redraft drafts where Jalen Warren was going like, at least to me, like shockingly high. I can't remember what round exactly, but I want to say it was like, I don't know, like round 7, or maybe you can tell me better, Blake, like exactly where he was going because I don't remember exactly the round it was, but somewhere around there. I was like, oh wow, like Jalen Warren, like that kind of stunned me.
Yeah.
But I think I kind of like came around to it a little bit, but like still, I didn't expect him to be this good. And I guess pending kind of Gainwell's role going forward, I mean, if Jalen Warren's back and healthy, it could continue.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, exactly. I mean, I really like him as a buy. I think that you could not get a better 2 weeks in a row with Gainwell doing what he did than him being on a bye week. No one's thinking about Jalen Warren. I
Yeah,
think he's a massive buy. Again, I'm
yeah,
just really not buying the Kenneth Gainwell stuff
yeah.
unless Warren's actually like not going to play a game. Um, yeah, I think Jalen Warren's like. I mean, you could be capturing like Javonte Williams level production, but for not Javonte Williams' price.
Yeah,
So I think he's a
I like
huge,
that.
huge PPR trade candidate.
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
mean,
go
maybe,
send some offers out.
yeah, because we're about to send out some offers. So yeah, maybe Jalen Warren's a player we could start with because I think that's a
Yeah,
really good call.
yeah. And honestly, like even like I feel like I've been a pretty big like Jalen Warren guy.
Yeah, you
Like
have.
not a massive guy. I do not own a lot of Jalen Warren. Let me be very clear about that. I own like one or two of them, but I have been like a big believer of his skill set and how that translates to fantasy points. And honestly, like I was hearing a lot of guys like rave about him this offseason, and I'm just like, honestly, man, like, are we gonna say this for like the fourth or fifth year in a row, like on Jalen Warren? Like, I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I know he was hurt last year, but like maybe just maybe like. I didn't even like Caleb Johnson, so like maybe that was a good hint for me to like actually like Warren more. But
Mhm.
again, I just wasn't like that sold on Warren. I thought he was like at best like a at the right spot for his ADP. I mean, I just was not raving over.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, he wasn't a guy I was like circling on my draft boards. And we got some comments from Nahal here. about Trey Tucker. He says, "Imagine if Amari Cooper had that start instead of Trey Tucker. I bet people would move up Amari as a top 30 wide receiver." And I definitely think there's something to say about like name value because
Yeah.
depending on who does it, like really determines a lot in terms of like how much we care. Like you attach a different name to Trey Tucker's stats, and
Oh,
yeah, people would be taking it a lot more seriously. So I think that's part of the reason why I don't mind buying a player like that if I can get him at the right price. And I don't know, maybe a third is a little too rich, but it's probably not too far off. I don't know, but I don't mind taking a gamble on that.
yeah.
Hall also says I did like ETN after all my drafts because of his PPR value, but I did not expect him to be top 20. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, I mean, it's about as good an outcome as you could have expected for ETN here. And then Hall also says, after you finish this draft board, I got a trade I want y'all's thoughts on. Garrett Wilson and Worthy for Rice and AJ Brown. Do you want to comment on that real quick, or should we finish up this?
I'm personally just taking Rice and AJ Brown. I know AJ Brown's been disappointing, but I think Rice can be the best. Actually, Garrett Wilson's been very, very good. I mean, I do not want to overlook that. I think Rice can be as good, if not better, going forward. And then just like AJ Brown versus Worthy, I'll just take AJ Brown. He's not hurt and doesn't have Rice coming back, and I just think they're gonna keep throwing the ball more, and something will eventually click for AJ Brown here. I would play that side. So I would send that offer out, I guess. What do you
Yeah.
think?
And of course, we're assuming this is redraft. But yeah, I mean, Worthy's been a bit disappointing, like injury or not. So yeah, you'd probably just rather have Rashee Rice over Worthy. And then yeah, AJ Brown versus Garrett Wilson. Would rather have Garrett Wilson, but
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you could tell yourself that the gap between them isn't as big as maybe Worthy and Rice right now, at least because of the injury. I mean, if we were talking about a healthy Worthy, it might be a little different. But yeah, I think I agree with you, Blake.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be looking at it like Worthy versus Rice. Like it's like Garrett Wilson's the guy in that trade, and I think Rice is like the good comp for him. And then it's like yeah, Brown over Worthy. I mean, still like Worthy and all, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's Rice is gonna just like steal his lunch when he comes back. Probably that sounds like a Jacob quote. I probably like directly took that one, but yeah, I mean Rice just is full PPR. I mean you gotta go for him. I mean half PPR gets a little closer, obviously.
I mean, I was disappointed with Worthy on that last Chiefs game where I mean Mahomes is having a great season. I mean, you could almost like in a weird way like put him on this list.
Yeah,
But Mahomes is having this big game, and like, what did Worthy end up with? I mean, it was a pretty disappointing stat line. Even through like the first quarter, I mean, what did Worthy have? Like, I mean, he had like no catches for a while. Then he finally had like one catch for like 5 yards. It's just like, isn't this the time like Worthy should be like dominating? So like, I'm pretty disappointed.
yeah, I do think it has some stuff to do with the injury and all that,
Yeah.
but and then he has the ankle injury too that got shaken up. So yeah, but yeah, I'm still disappointed. I mean, actually, it's funny. Like I'm kind of like almost like impressed with what he's done for the 2 games after coming back from like a torn
Okay.
labrum. But because my expectations were really really low coming off
Yeah,
that.
so maybe I'm not really giving enough
Yeah.
grace on that, and I'm just sort of I'm wanting him to be what I thought he was because I was really in on him this
Yeah.
offseason.
No, yeah, I mean, I think it was a good bet still, but I mean, at this point with what we got, I mean, Rasheed Rice
Yeah,
is just gonna like probably
yeah.
throw it out
I,
there.
I don't know how to feel about AJ Brown. I mean, maybe he comes out of nowhere on like Thursday night. I can't remember who predicted that. I can't remember if it was like Fantasy Points or someone else. I could see that, but I don't know. Like, it doesn't feel great owning him. I don't
Yeah,
know. Just
I'm not expecting like him to, especially as soon as this week, to just come out and smash. But I think over the course of the season, he's
yeah,
probably a good buy. At worst, like you probably get your money's worth. I mean, he's just so capable of like just turning it on. Actually, he started out injured last year and really turned it on.
he kind of went on a tear last year. So who knows? I mean, like, could he do that this year when you least expect it? So
Yeah,
maybe this is the time we need to be buying AJ Brown. Maybe I mean, heck, I mean, depending on the price, I mean, I could certainly be in on him if the price is right. So maybe I don't know. Maybe we send out some offers on him. But yeah, it definitely doesn't feel great right now. But that's
yeah.
part of the reason why he's attainable at a good price.
Yeah, don't know if it's good or bad, but it's kind of just like been out of his control. It's just like how they're running the offense. They're running the least amount of plays. Yeah, if they just
But yeah,
run more plays and
I mean,
pass
it's
the ball, like
not going to last forever, right? I
hopefully
mean,
not.
hopefully it wouldn't last the entire season. It's probably got to take a turn at some point
Yeah,
here. I mean, just thinking about it historically. I mean, like usually when something is such an outlier, like it's only going to last so long.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw that last game. They threw the ball a bunch last game,
Okay.
finally. So, and
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
even
Devon
up in the game.
Smith had a nice game, which was really good to see.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They had some. Yeah, hopefully that's like things to come.
Yeah. And let's see, just to catch up on some of the comments here. Oh wait, I lost my spot. But yeah, Nahal agreed about Jalen Warren. He says that. Oh yeah, I was so off Warren. He also says Zay Flowers should be on the list. I mean, I was pretty high on Flowers, so I mean, I wouldn't be like too surprised there. But I know like the market didn't like care about Zay Flowers a lot. And then yeah, Seb just says that his boy Romeo Dobbs has to be on this list.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
I
that's
think he
fair.
qualifies pretty well.
Yeah, I'd say he qualifies. You know, I'll put him at 210. I mean, he's been wide receiver 23. He's kind of gotten there off one game, and just off touchdowns. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you basically have been able to start him.
Yeah, so I mean, I
So,
don't know if it'll continue. I mean, Seb could probably like make the case for it. He is a Packers fan, so we have to take it with a grain of salt. But hey, like maybe there's something there. Like I don't know. Like I mean, we should. I mean, I'd like to. I mean, it would be interesting to kind of get Seb's perspective. Diving a little deeper into Romeo Dobbs and like has he looked good? Like what's the reason for like believing on this? So maybe we can get some thoughts from Seb at some point. Um, but yeah, I'll go to the 211 here. We'll just make a couple more picks and then wrap up this draft, and then we'll start hopefully sending out some offers, and maybe we'll get some deals done here live. You never know. But yeah, for the 211 here, let's go with. Oh wait, I had a good one. I was gonna say. Yeah. I mean, let's go with Kendrick Bourne. I mean, we just saw it. He put up what, like 140 yards, had like the game of his life. I know it was just 1 week, but like, I mean, who knows? It could continue another week. I believe that Ricky Pearsall is not expected to play this week. There is a chance Jennings could be back, but even if he does, Bourne still projects as like the wide receiver 2 on the team. I mean, I think there's room for there to be 2 fantasy relevant receivers, especially since George Kittle is still out. Although Tongues is another guy that should probably be on here. But yeah, I mean, that was just so wild seeing Bourne go off like that. We always kind of liked him and thought he was underrated.
He was our favorite guy last year. Like we had so much Kendrick Bourne, and like this always happens. We're always like 1 year too early on these random.
I know,
games.
right?
It's just like, oh my god. I mean, it's not like it's one game on Kendrick Bourne. He might like he's a good pickup in like redraft and stuff. These guys are missing.
So he could sell some more relevance. And I mean, we know the 49ers are just like cursed with injuries. So like, who knows? Like, I mean, there could be more opportunities for him even beyond this week. So I do think he's a good player to pick up, and don't just like automatically think like, oh, that's the 1 week fluke. That'll never happen. Like, you never know.
Yeah. I find I had been picking, I don't know how many leagues I have him in now, because I know I dropped him in a couple, like especially after, like between basically the week before he had the big game. I had been like dropping him before I knew about the injuries, but
yeah,
I know I got him in the listener league, so I might have to start him against Seb with a stack with Mac Jones. See if I can run that back. We'll
I like
see.
it. I like it.
We'll see. But yeah, I put J.K. Dobbins in here. I'm not like I don't think like anyone's really like too surprised. We've seen it like he did this last year. But he's looking really good. Yeah.
But still, I mean, he was a guy that, I mean, I think this proves why he deserves to be on this list. He was on waiver wires in some dynasty leagues. Like, he was actually dropped in, like, a dynasty league this offseason.
Yeah, he should not have been dropped. Like
he probably shouldn't have been, but
he should not
that
have
even
been
happened.
Yeah, he should not have been at all. Like, that manager is known for just, like, randomly. I mean, he had, like, Bryce Weed Fortin on his, like, team still. Like, like, there was no reason to drop him. But with that being said, you literally could obtain him for like a 4th when no one was picking him up.
Because he hadn't even signed with an NFL team for like a while, and so you could basically just get him for free. And like we probably should have been doing that.
Yeah, I was facing that. I was like, he'll probably just like not go anywhere, like get stuck on the. It said he could have got stuck behind the Chargers, behind like Najee and stuff, and that's what I was really scared of, if no one had picked him up. So yeah, we should have been buying him though for free.
Yeah, and then with the last pick here, maybe we'll just throw out a few like honorable mention names as well. But let's go with Michael Carter. I mean, he just had like over 20 touches in a game. He leapfrog over Amari Demercado after injuries to James Conner and Trey Benson. yeah, that whole like leapfrog phenomenon is really just like a fascinating thing. Like, I mean, it's interesting how that happens sometimes. Like, it doesn't seem to make logical sense. Like, well, wait a minute. Like, if
Yeah.
he's behind on the depth chart, like, why is he just like leapfrogging over him? And he's like going from like the practice squad to like all of a sudden he's like the starting running back getting like 20 plus touches. So that whole concept is kind of wild, but I can see how in some situations it like makes sense where if they just want to keep Demercado in a specific role. Um, but yeah, I mean, we've seen this with Michael Carter before. So yeah, it's not the most like shocking thing ever, but still, I mean, this is a guy that was on waiver wires in like most dynasty leagues. I mean, he's not even on the roster. He wasn't even on the roster. He's on the practice squad. I mean, it's just crazy, like how quickly things can change.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you only get a handful. By the way, I would say if Caleb Johnson wasn't like literally as in doghouse of doghouses,
Yeah,
like I do think Kenny Gainwell was like a very leapfroggable running back. I think he is a very leapfroggable running back.
sure.
Now it's gonna be hard to say that after the game he had, but let's just say there was like an actual like Caleb Johnson was good. Like
Yeah,
I think that's a very easy like kind of leapfrog
yeah,
situation
I
and
could
one of the
see
rare
that.
ones.
Yeah,
That's just not the case though of how
right.
that's been going there, but in a different
Yeah,
alternate universe. But yeah, it is interesting and. Thank God, Michael Carter and Darren Waller. I went out and I just like I outbid everyone on Michael Carter by like I mean, I must like some of them I outbid like the next guy like 10% like 10 times. Like it was just ridiculous.
okay.
I put like 900 out of 1,000 fab in one. We're breaking the team down, and we actually already threw him in a deal, so it paid off. But I had to take my shots on Michael Carter.
Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed with the game he had. I knew the range of outcomes. I didn't think he was going to get even that much work. It's
Mhm.
because they were up though that he got like that much volume. They were up
Yeah, but I
until they
mean,
weren't.
he might be very startable for at least 3 more weeks here, and who knows? I
Pretty
mean, could
much.
Benson be out longer? I have no idea. So
Yeah. So, yeah, he certainly deserves to be there.
yeah, and then just throwing out a few honorable mentions. Tongues, what's even his first name? Is it Jake Tongues on the
I thought it
49ers?
was. Oh yeah, Jake. Yeah.
He's like ranked like absurdly high among tight ends, like way higher than you would expect. Here, I'll try to find the exact ranking here. Tight end 15 right now, at least in 0.75 tight end premium. So that's kind of wild. He's been a very usable streamer. AJ Barner's another one. Like he's kind of coming on. I actually just traded for him in actually this very dynasty league. It's with the 0.75 tight end premium, bums and ballers.
From me.
And I basically gave you two fourths and 26. You gave me AJ Barner and a fourth and 27. So I thought that was a good deal for both sides. I just had Bretton Strange go down, so I kind of wanted just some solid tight end depth. Thought he fit the bill pretty nicely there. I had a lot of picks. Theo Johnson's been really good, and he's kind of emerging now. Just scored 2 touchdowns. We mentioned Mac Jones earlier. Like he's definitely an honorable mention. Oh, Wandale Robinson. I mean, he's been being used more downfield. Could be even pretty relevant moving forward with the Malik Neighbors injury. And I'm trying to see where he's ranked right now, but like, I mean, he's been like pretty solid on the year. I mean, a lot of it was like the one big game, but still, like, I mean, he's definitely been a surprise this year. Someone that like no one cared about at all.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Exactly. Then yeah, Theo Johnson. Yeah, Theo Johnson, and then Hall says, yeah, even Ramondre's had a couple. He just came off that like, I think he ran for 8 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. So one way or another, he's been getting there. He did have that one big game as well. So
Yeah,
uh,
exactly. Yeah, so he deserves to be mentioned. I actually
yeah.
drafted him in the listener league as well, but traded him away. And how about Dallas Goddard? I mean, I don't know if he qualifies or not because, like, I mean,
Oh
he's
yeah,
generally
people
considered a good
hate Dallas
player,
Goddard.
but yeah, he's not someone that like people cared about all that much. I
Yeah.
mean, we were just like stealing him in like starter drafts last season, even like in high tight end premium leagues. He's going way later than he should have.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a tight end 6 right now. He's scoring a lot of touchdowns. Like he's been awesome.
No, yeah. I mean, like people just like that's why I like try to pay attention to like narrative. Like people just hate Dallas Goddard. Like, I really should have more of them. Like people just hate some players that are just like good at football and are veterans and they're just not that excited because
Yeah.
they want the next big thing. They only care about Bowers and stuff, and it's like no, like these guys, they can be usable in stretches, like really usable in stretches. They could be solid, reliable options. He's a perfect example of that.
Mhm. Yeah, and yeah, Jacob was thinking the same thing. He says AJ Barner needs recognition, and he says, "Oh, nice, Dan." So yeah, we were definitely on the same page with that one. Um, but yeah, that wraps up the draft here. I think that was a lot of fun. But yeah, just kind of taking a step back and like looking at all these names here, plus all the honorable mentions, like probably filled out a whole other round pretty easily. I mean, it's just really crazy how unpredictable this game of fantasy football is, and definitely something we should keep in mind more. Like especially in the off season, like we definitely do not know as much as we think we know.
No, yeah, exactly. Like I really was trying to keep that in mind this off season. But again, like then I mean, again, you keep reminding yourself, but as you go like on and on and on, like you fall victim to it. Like it's impossible not to
Mm-hmm.
some degree. But yeah, I mean, like that's what I just need to keep telling myself in the off season. I tried as much as I can. Just like we know nothing. So
Yeah. And just catching up on the live chat, Nahal says, I think Worthy will be better when Kamara gets traded there and Rice is back because they play different roles. Interesting. Yeah, there has been some talk about possibility of Kamara getting traded. Chiefs would definitely be an interesting landing spot. I definitely wouldn't mind that. Nahal also says, I was trying to get Debo instead of AJ, but he wouldn't budge. I'd rather the trade go through than have all these shenanigans. Yeah, I mean, I think Debo is probably a pretty good guy to target and redraft. And then let's see, Nahal also says, and if Jalen Hurts wasn't, but AJ would have had like 14 points off that overthrown touchdown. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it's interesting. Like a lot of times, like you have like these like near touchdowns or almost, and signs it's just like a very like fine line between
yeah.
producing and not. But I mean, you can take advantage of that by like trading for guys that have had these like close calls and maybe a touchdown was wiped away or their foot was on the line or the ball was just overthrown. Definitely something to keep in mind when making trades.
No, yeah, exactly. Like I know, like I'm just seeing Kyron on the screen right now. I know he had one like wiped away a couple weeks ago. He would have had another like monster game before his last monster game, I
Yeah.
think, or maybe there was a game in between there. But in an Ibuka, again, let's speak bad on Ibuka, especially now that I have like three of them. But the look, like he there was that one play. Was it 2 weeks ago? I don't know if you saw that, Dan. Like, I mean, just a ridiculous throw by Baker Mayfield. Like these DBs got their like fingertips on it. Like it probably should have been picked. And Nabuka just played it as if it was gonna come through, and it did come through, and it was like an 80-yard touchdown or something like that. And it's like, okay, I mean like that like is gonna happen 1% of the time, but like hey, it counts. Like I don't know if I
Right.
should do anything
Right.
with that information. More it's the
Yeah.
ones where they miss on. Yeah, I mean you miss on one of those free touchdowns. Is the receivers they can't throw the ball themselves, so
Yeah.
certainly
And
something to
Nahal,
keep an eye on.
Nahal says he's trying to flip AJ Brown for Zay Flowers. What do you think of that? Which one do you prefer in redraft?
Oh, I mean that's, I mean for it depends if you want to play like the market game. I would just keep AJ Brown and try to get a hot game. I don't want a guy getting balls from Tyler Huntley
Yeah.
and Cooper
And they're on
Rush.
a bye. And they're on a bye next week. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
I'd probably just stick with AJ Brown at least for the moment.
yeah. I mean Zay Flowers is so interesting because I was starting to buy like, dude, this is what you need to see from Zay Flowers: the high target share, them getting screens, and it's just like he's right back to square one since that what week two. Yeah, it just looked like I don't know. They can't haven't figured out how to use him again. It seems like so.
Yeah, and Hall says Judkins could be a big one. Were y'all off of him after the news? I mean, I'll
Yeah.
admit, like, I was pretty like off Judkins. I mean, I just didn't imagine him being able to just kind of like roll off the couch and not having even been with the team and just like
No.
immediately
Yeah.
like so like I definitely was not expecting this considering the situation he was in.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think the best way to describe Judkins is like how quickly that happened was just like not what anyone was expecting. I mean, literally the news like broke like after the season started, like after like in week one, and then they're like, yeah, he's playing week two. It's like, hey, he hasn't practiced. Uh, like he hasn't even been on the team. He doesn't have a contract. So like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty shocked of like just how good he's been with no practice and stuff like that. I don't know if there's really anything to learn there because like we didn't know the charges were going to be dropped. I think if anything, it was just like people were really disrespecting Judkins, like just in the, general in the offseason, saying like, oh, like no running back on the Browns can be good. It's a terrible offense. Like again, Judkins is a really good prospect. It just I liked Henderson a lot more. So like, you know, I don't know. People liked Henderson a lot more, Hampton a lot more. Yeah, he was just kind of where he was. There was some question marks in his profile, but he just looks way better than I think what anyone would ever say. I
Yeah,
think they were
he looks
talking
awesome. Like, I mean, yeah, just in terms of like the eye test, like he looks great out there.
they were talking about him on that fantasy points thing, I think, and they were basically just saying how like he didn't even look like that in cult. Like at least like in Ohio, he looks way better on tape than what they were like
Yeah,
their scouting
kind of
department.
does.
So
He kind of does.
I don't know what's happened with him. Like I guess I'm not sure. He was an awesome prospect, so I guess I'm not surprised in that realm. Like we knew he
Right.
had this talent, but just how quickly he has captured that
Yeah.
has been surprising.
And I mean, he had a great freshman year in college, so interesting that he's having like an awesome like rookie season, like surpassing people's expectations. So like maybe he's just kind of like good. We're at like just like the first year somewhere, just kind of like transitioning to like that next level, like first
Yeah.
year in college, first year in the NFL. Maybe just like adjust quickly.
Yeah, I love thinking back to when you don't know what's happening. I literally had like a shower thought, and I was like, are we too low on Judkins and the whole community? Because like, should he be like, I was thinking, would he be RB1 if he stayed at Ole Miss, right? Because you just saw Genty, uh, be at freaking whatever Mountain West thing, and I was like, well, at Ole Miss he was destroying. Like, obviously he's gonna play with Henderson. Like, that's gonna hurt our
Right, exactly. I
expectations.
think
So
we never factor in context enough, and so it does create these inefficiencies in the market that you can take advantage of. And yeah, we
yeah,
probably should have considered that a bit more with Judkins. And yeah, I mean, there was a time where like he was considered to like be kind of like that next like Bijan Robinson type. Like
yeah.
he just like the amount of hype for him and like like the Devi circles and that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, considering like his off-season situation, I didn't think he'd just be able to like, step off the street and onto the field and just be like
Yeah.
an instant stud like this.
No, yeah, like that's the most shocking part to me. It's not like his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like, I mean, I imagine he'd be a pretty hard player to trade for, but like, I don't know, like maybe it'd be fun to try because like I don't have any shares now because I traded away one kind of at the height of that whole situation. He was, in this offseason. Basically traded him for a second and 26 plus Bashal Tootin. So not the worst thing in the world, but yeah, I'd easily take the Judkins side right now.
yeah. I mean, I think he'd be very hard to trade for right now, especially depending on
Yeah.
the owners. Yeah, he'd be. I mean, he genuinely could be like pushing though. I guess one thing with him, he could genuinely be pushing like RB1 overall dynasty though, like this offseason. I mean, he's on that pace right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I guess I would recommend trading for him, but like maybe getting off of like a Bijan for him plus. Like if you
Yeah.
could get a first and Judkins for Bijan, I mean, heck yeah, like I'm doing that.
Yeah. I don't hate that. Like, it'd be interesting to see if that's
I
possible,
don't
like
know.
how the manager would react to that. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, I have no idea. That would be, I think the easiest way to get him though is just come off a back.
What do you think we would have to add to Brees Hall to get Judkins? Like, do you think their values are too far apart?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I would say like just in yeah, like it would be a lot. It would be like a first, I would say. Like just because people hate
Really?
Brees Hall. I would go out to say right now, by the way, Brees Hall is still the most. You should never trade away a Brees Hall in Dynasty. I don't care if he's literally the probably the best fantasy player that doesn't score a lot of fantasy points. He's the Chris Olave of running backs right now. You should
Yeah.
not trade him away. He has not scored a touchdown this season. He
Oh
is
wow.
like literally putting up. I don't know. We pull up his thing. Like, dude, if this guy just like gets traded or something, I like come on. I mean, you also lose Braylon Allen. He's got to fall in the end zone. This is like the biggest regression candidate I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, he's got 3 games above 16 points without a touchdown. His receiving work's all there. Braylon
Yeah.
Allen's going down, so I think Brees Hall is a massive buy.
Yeah.
But the question is, yeah, does he score a touchdown? I mean, he's going to eventually, right? But in fact, I think his rookie season, he was like RB2 with like, yeah, I mean, he was RB2 overall with only 5 rushing touchdowns, but he got there through the air. So yeah, I mean, just in general though, if you're asking, like that would be like a trade I wouldn't want to make, but I do think you would need to add a first though. That's why like you would need to add big time.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to pay that. So
No.
yeah, that idea is out. If that's truly the cost, but I mean, but don't assume anything. I mean, you just like never know
Yeah.
how a specific manager is
It,
going to value players.
it's Joshy
When
though that owns him. He's as
okay,
big of a Judkins guy as there is. So
yeah, fair enough. Enough said there. One idea that did come to mind. I mean, not for Walter White's lab specifically, but just in general. I wonder if a first plus Trey Benson could get you Judkins.
yeah, I doubt that as well. I would like that. Like that.
Yeah,
Again,
it
I
sounds
just
pretty good, right?
yeah, I mean it's funny, like I've been owning Trey Benson in a few leagues just because I had so much Connor and just in case what happened in Connor happened.
Mhm.
I've always been very skeptical of Trey Benson. I'm not sure he's good. I think he's a good process pick though, if you believe Benson's gonna go down. Yeah, I'd do that easily. I mean, I don't know if like I don't know if that's something that, though in a league like this where we'd want to send out. That's the biggest question though because we're like not even a playoff team right now.
Yeah.
We might be, but we're dealing with injuries, and then we also have another early first off a guy. So it's like
Mhm.
if we were 4-1 or even 3-2, but I kind of get unlucky, like I'd feel so much more confident about doing that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of looking at more of like a 1 foot in, 1 foot out with this team where we don't want to like rule out contending, but we might be making some small moves to just get a little younger, gain a pick. Like, I mean, I imagine we wouldn't be opposed to that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, in this league, like Judkins is just like it's safe to say he's off the board anyways.
Yeah.
Like with Joshy, but yeah, I do think if you have like a late first, like or whatever, if you're gonna make playoffs or a first round bye, oh my god, like I'd add to that easily to go.
Yeah.
Again, I just am not that big of a Benson guy, and I could be wrong, but
Yeah. Well, what about, I mean, we just did the draft of these like unexpected fantasy heroes so far this season. I mean, this feels like the kind of team. This is our co-managed team that we have,
yeah,
Walter White's lab. This seems like the kind of team where we have like a lot of handcuffs and stuff like that. We don't have like a lot of startable players on our bench, and even our lineup could probably use an upgrade, at least in like one spot. Is this the kind of team where maybe targeting like a guy on that list of players we were just drafting like might make some sense?
yeah. I mean, probably we should have been way more reactive on that. I guess the one issue is this that we started dealing with injuries like as weeks went by. It's like we lose a guy every week. It feels like, and we
Uh-huh.
don't have like a bunch of seconds as well. I think if we had some seconds in the back pocket, we could be like
Right.
much more reactive. Really, all we got is an extra first. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I mean, I definitely think we should be interested in just seeing if we can get one of these like heroes. I guess it just depends. Like, yeah, like who I mean, we got Keenan Allen is one of
Yeah,
them.
we have Keenan Allen. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like, yeah, amongst like the players we were just drafting there, like would any of them like make sense to actually like trade for?
Yeah.
I mean, what about like who has Darren Waller in this league?
Interesting. Yeah, that would be an interesting one. I was thinking about that. I was like, this would be if I could transfer one of my other Waller shares into this league, it would
Right.
be
Yeah,
would
wouldn't that be
be.
nice if you could do that? Just
Oh
like,
my
hey,
god,
I could. This player would be a lot more useful on this other team. I'm just going to transfer him over.
that happens so much. There's like I'm like looking at what team I gained like a Rico Dowdle on. I'm like, okay, this is
Yeah.
not the team I need a Rico Dowdle on,
Right.
whatever, right?
Exactly.
So Waller, and he's only got Mark Andrews. That
What's this guy's
sucks.
record?
This is Born Goat, who is three and
Oh
two.
gosh, he loves tight. He loves his
Yeah.
tight ends. He loves his
That's
tight
right.
ends.
Yeah, and he's only got two. So I mean that's
Yeah, that's
I feel
probably
like pretty
a lost
unlikely.
cause. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of the biggest questions let's actually so hold on read Nahal's chats here.
Yeah.
Says Zay Flowers has a good schedule coming up, so that's good to know. And yeah, they are becoming the 2024 Bengals, so like Zay Flowers really could be a good buy. I would just try to time it as like okay, well, whenever we know Lamar's coming back, get him before Lamar touches the field. I like that call.
Hmm.
Um, and Vrabel saying something about Henderson. Yeah. Involved in the kick returning game. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's been involved. I don't know what is like going on there with Henderson and Vrabel. I'm just like I'm not expecting anything with Henderson until it happens, but I'm like expecting at some point it happens. I'm just not expecting it to happen like instantaneously. I'll be happily surprised if it happens, but yeah, in like redraft, I'm skeptical of Henderson. In Dynasty, uh, very interested in getting him, especially at like a discount now. Uh, but
Yeah. The Hall also
DMP,
says also, Dan just had a victory lap on Carter over Demercado. Yeah, I hadn't come around to the Michael Carter thing as of last Wednesday's stream. As the week went on, and I started reading more reports that were saying that Carter was essentially going to leapfrog Demercado and become the early down guy. I did finally come around to it, before the game, as the week went on. But yeah, I was not on the right side of that as of last Wednesday. So yeah, I'll give you credit there.
yeah, I'm glad you weren't on it because that was able to get like allowed me to get a lot of Michael Carters in the leagues. Like I don't know, I probably got him in. I don't know. I mean, I got him in any league I had Fab in, basically.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I
and
missed that
it seemed
couple.
like I didn't have a lot of fab left in most of my leagues, so I didn't. I'm not even sure if I got any shares this most recent waiver period. But funny enough, I actually picked up a Michael Carter share. Like, what was it, like the day before Trey Benson was put on IR? I just randomly picked him up in a point per carry league. So I must have had a little premonition there. But yeah, I didn't get too much of him after um, you know the big game or whatever, or even just it becoming clear that he might be a thing with the Benson injury.
Yeah, and then Nahal, we were talking about that Godwin DNP earlier. Yeah, I mean, we need some more information on that. It could be a re-injury again because the fibula could have to do with that ankle injury. We just don't really know if it's. So it would be so random if it wasn't. If it was just like, oh, you rarely see like a random fibula injury that's not like when it's not broken. I mean, we would know if it was
Right.
broken. So,
Yeah,
and
that
then
is kind of
he's
odd. Yeah.
yeah, so I mean, that's my suspicion is that it's really like to do with the ankle, but could be wrong. And yeah, and then he's saying, well, Brees, the thing won't try. Hey, he could get traded too, so I wouldn't rule that out as well. I mean, Brees Hall on another team would be just phenomenal, especially as like a bell cow. I mean, my God. And then what else here? Yeah, Haskins or Vidal. I mean, I picked up Vidal off waivers just like randomly, like when Najee went down, but like I'm still really not like that excited between either. I would say it really doesn't matter to me who you choose. I would not say it's like the Carter one. I don't think there's like a Carter here, I guess is like my answer. If it is, it's got to be Vidal for me. But I think it's just this is like actually a split backfield, in my opinion.
Yeah, it'll probably be split. It does feel like if there is a Carter, it'd probably be Vidal. He definitely seems to have more upside. If you need a player to start and you're kind of desperate and you just like need, 5 to 10 points, I feel like Haskins
Yeah,
might be the better bet there. He'll probably get the goal line carries. He's probably just a better bet for like more touches if
yeah,
if you had to put money on it. And also he's kind of Harbaugh's guy. He's a good college running back at Michigan. I'm a Michigan fan, so I watched him. I mean, he was always like boring as hell, but like he got the job done. And I mean, I remember that like first game where Michigan beat Ohio State after like way too many years of not beating them. I was actually at the game, and like Haskins had a monster game. He had like 150 yards, like 3 touchdowns. So yeah, it kind of holds a special place in my heart ever
yeah.
since that game. So yeah, I never like loved him, but like, and that that was the game where I was kind of like, okay, this guy's not so bad. So I can respect he's just kind of like that boring plotter, but I mean he can get the job done.
Yeah, I mean, the question for me is like, is he going to be are they going to be scoring rushing touchdowns? Like, because here's the thing, he can get there. He has a very clear path just to get there through touchdowns, like being Gus Edwards or something.
Right, right,
I think like if you want to capture lightning in a bottle, like it's very clearly Vidal. And again, I just don't feel very confident that that actually happens.
yeah,
Because I do think Haskins will be like this plotter and then just keep getting touches and be not amazing with it. They also have a banged up O line, which gives me even less confidence. So and they don't
right.
even throw their running back a lot. So there's really a lot of stuff working against them. They're still worth pickups. It's just, I mean, even in my redraft league, like again, it's only like 7-person bench, but like I didn't even care to like put a waiver claim in. Let me just keep Michael Carter and Isaiah Davis and get guys like that over them
Right.
personally.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. What's weird too is that like the Panthers' offensive line is really banged up right now, and yet Rico Dowdle just rumbled for 200 yards. So you never know. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't let that discourage you too much, but
Well, like
it
Dowdle's
is
good is like the difference. Like,
okay. Fair
yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
like he was running for like Yeah, I mean, he was like an RB1 without Dak Prescott on the Cowboys. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
like
was
that
kind of
was
crazy. Yeah,
impressive. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, he never got enough credit for that.
yeah, and then yeah, and then
Also,
Nahal's saying something about the Gibson injury. I mean, yeah, Henderson did get up to 50% snaps, which is interesting. It's just like, can the touches get there?
yeah,
Eventually.
Nahal also asked, "What is Taxi? Taxi
Oh,
Squad is just something in Dynasty. It's basically like some extra roster spots where you can like stash young players, and so like if they're on your taxi, like you can't start them until like you elevate them to like the regular roster, and in which case you have to like cut someone to make room for them. So yeah, it's just kind of a dynasty thing, but yeah, we definitely got to get you into a dynasty league at some point here, Nahal.
yeah, exactly. It's, you'll learn all about the
Yeah,
taxi.
you know all about
If
the
you're
taxes.
elevating some off taxi, you're getting pretty excited normally. I actually just elevated a fan in today, so I had to do
Oh,
it.
nice. Yeah, it's
Um,
always good when you have to elevate someone because that means that they're producing and you're gonna actually use them.
yeah, good problem to have there. Wasting a taxi spot on them. And yeah, the so do we do we want to send some trade out? And here's also maybe some conversation with potentially sending some trades. If we can't find any success trading for a current one of these guys on the list,
Right.
what's even more important than getting guys like that right now is just finding out who's going to be the next one. I think we
Ah,
actually
yeah.
one of my favorite candidates because this is actually a guy you could really get right now, and we just traded for him. Again, he's been banged up. He hurt his hamstring. It sounds like he'll be good to go. Is like Darnell Mooney. He's running 100% of the routes. I know there's some questions with Penix. I'm glad we have Mooney on this team. I still really like him as just discounted,
Yeah.
uh, cheap receiver.
Yeah.
Do any other minds come? I do people to come to your mind. I do have one, by the way. I got to shout this guy out. Gunnar Helm is very sneakily. I have not heard a single peep about this guy. I don't know if anyone else has heard his name called out. I own him in a couple leagues, and I've been looking at his snap share. He was up to he played more snaps than Chico Conquo this week, barely. He also
Okay.
racked in 5 targets for 4 catches.
Oh wow.
I
Didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I remember watching him in his college stuff. I didn't think he was very impressive at all as a receiver, but he was really good after the catch, which
Yeah.
is probably really all that matters for him. So if they get the ball in his hand, I want to call out right now Gunnar Helm as like no one is talking about him. This is probably the last week you have a chance to get it before his name's mentioned. The owners probably don't even know what he's done. So
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
I, I would take some shots at him in those heavy tight end premium leagues. See what you can get for him.
Yeah. I mean, is he someone you'd want to set an offer for in Walter White's lab here? And if so, would we have to like disguise it with
Yeah,
something?
I mean, that's the toughest part with Helm is like, am I going out and sending a fourth? Like, I would in heavy tight end premium especially. It's just I don't want to like send.
It's gonna be so
It's
obvious.
gonna be
Yeah.
so obvious. Yeah, I need to like. I'm looking for deals. It's been hard to try and figure that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be something disguised around it. God, does this guy have? He has JMO.
Oh. Okay.
So I mean, it could get a package here. We
Yeah, I mean, I've been like sending offers for JMO everywhere. I mean, I completed 2 trades from last week. Certainly wasn't happy to see another disappointing game, but I mean, now his price has just
yeah.
gone down even more. I'm definitely still buying him. I mean, I'm just betting on the talent.
Who would you rather send in a trade package? By the way, like just in one of these deals, we'll figure out like what else to add from this guy. But are you more inclined to sell McConkey or Worthy would have to be the guys?
Hmm. God, that's a tough one. McConkey or Worthy. I mean, neither feel like amazing at the moment. I mean, I'm trying to think of which player. I mean, which player would we get more credit for right now? I mean, does it's
It
doing
would
that?
have
But
to
I
be.
don't know.
I don't think it would be like because I don't think it might be that different. Like I would rather sell Worthy
Yeah,
because I don't think it is
yeah,
very.
I'd be okay selling Worthy.
Yeah, I just like what. I'm still very interested in buying Bourbon, even if it doesn't happen this year, because that's a fun deal of like, okay, we swap Worthy for JMO. I don't know. Are people getting frustrated with Burden again? He's kind of just been doing what I've expected. He might not do anything all year, but again, it could be one random week. It's post bye week. He could do something. I'm very interested
Well,
in.
I think he's a great buy.
Yeah, I mean, does this get done? We gotta add something back here, probably of course, but like,
Like
what?
Reed or Benson or someone
That's
like that.
that's what I was just thinking. Yeah,
That's too much.
who's this? Okay, he's 2-3. Perfect. He does not have a lot of points for. He looks like he maybe just doesn't have the great team. Let's see here.
And we got Cooper in here. He says, roast my CMC and Chase for 226 firsts, Hunter and Tootin trade with Joshy Lips.
That's right. You know, I was texting Josh earlier, so I was seeing that one. But I told him, he gave me the context, and I said that was a really fair deal. And I said if I was in your shoes, then I absolutely would have accepted that to get your first back in that deal. So I thought that was a pretty fair deal, knowing all the context around it.
Yeah, getting your first back and you're buying low on. I'm assuming that's Travis Hunter.
Yeah, it sounded like it was like a potential 101 and a potential late one as well.
Okay.
So I thought it was really really fair.
Yeah.
Given the situation.
Wait, and that's Jamar Chase, right?
Yeah, it's Jamar Chase.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you're giving up two really good players. So you're getting like early first, late first, Travis Hunter, Tootin. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was some. I saw some other potential offers, and I was like, nah, you guys are like both way too far off, and that was like a perfect one in the middle. I thought like, especially knowing the context or whatever, or getting a little bit into it, and I thought that really helped both of you guys.
If you call Chase and CMC like 4 first total, and then you're getting 2 firsts, but if one's early, that's really like 2 firsts in itself, so that's like 3. And then Hunter and Tootin's easily worth a first. So I think that's fair.
Yeah, I wasn't even like trying to add up I forget how I was looking. I was just kind of looking at it as like packaging a couple things together, and it just it looks like a pretty fair.
Yeah. Hey, even Jacob says I have been buying Helms for cheap. The splits are competent. He's a guy. Hey,
he is a guy.
I mean, for Jacob, that's like high praise for Helms because he did not really like him as a prospect. I actually traded Helms to him like this offseason in the listener league, and he didn't really want him, but like somehow he just like got in the deal and it just kind of like made sense. Yeah. I can't remember like all the details, but yeah, that's interesting to see Jacob, give him any kind of endorsement whatsoever.
Yeah, I made sure to put some waivers. Man, there was just so many good guys on waivers, and I forgot to put all my waiver claims in. That's the most disappointing part. I know I'd have
after the rookie drafts.
Yeah, after I know I'd have like whoever, doesn't matter what player, I'd have more of all these guys. There's so many good ones that you want to have, whether they've done anything or not. I still really want these guys.
How'd you let that happen anyways? I mean, I know we're in a lot of dynasty leagues, but like that's a critical time.
Yeah, I mean, busy with work, number one, girlfriend, number two. And then the other thing is, where do all the rookie drafts happen? They all happen at the same time in like the first week. So I'm drafting, I'm figuring out trades, I'm going to sleep, and then I'm thinking, oh my god, the waivers they ran. Or sometimes I have them in, but I forgot to go change. That was a big one. I'd have them all in for 0 and I forget to change. And then I get like the most terrible guy. I get Tej Johnson out of it or whoever instead of insert.
So I would avoid doing that because when you put in like the $0 like placeholder bids, psychologically it makes you feel like, oh yeah, I've already put in some claims. I'm good there now. But like, just like put in an actual number, even if you're going to change it later.
Yeah, it answers too many leagues though. Like
that's probably it.
Yeah, I need like to hire a waiver guy to like take
you need like an intern.
Yeah, exactly. I need someone just like just put like 30 on everyone. I don't want to come up with a single dollar of fab. Just get everyone. That's by the way probably like the best advice ever in like trade. It's just like get every possible. It doesn't matter how little you believe in them. Just get every UDFA waiver guy. What do you got to lose? Like there's so many names that come out of there.
Yeah.
Even if it just like, it's like Dante Thornton. He's done nothing. Well, you could have easily got a third for him or third plus. Like
right.
Just one training camp report. So.
Oh yeah, I mean I sold him for a 4th, and I mean he hasn't done much so far. So looking
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah, actually, Cooper. Oh wait, no, Hall says something here first. Says Jags and Browns trade. Oh, hold on. There was a NFL trade here breaking. Maybe we
Oh,
should
right.
look that up.
Yeah.
NFL.
Breaking news. Like a breaking news alert.
Uh, Another Browns Jags trade. That's like the how they got Travis Hunter. Wow. Oh my god. Is that what the deal is? There's got to be some picks involved in here.
Like a swap of cornerbacks.
Yeah, these are some good corners. So 6th round pick. Yeah, okay, so they just swapped to sixes. I was gonna say these are both really good corners. I don't know why they would even trade them.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, both really good corners.
Pretty
I would
random.
assume Campbell's better. Tyson Campbell for Greg Newsome.
Mhm.
Um, my thought would be Tyson Campbell's better, but let's see if that's like true to their deal. Yeah,
Mhm.
okay. Cleveland gets the 6th, and Jags get the 7th, so I guess that adds up a little bit. But weird trade. You don't ever really see that happen. Corner for corner, they're both good. That's rare in season 2.
Yeah. And then Hall says that someone dropped Tajay Spears in his league, but he's not sure if dropping anyone on his bench is worth it. Carter, Henderson, Dottle, Henry Miller,
No,
Travis Hunter, Rasheed Rice. Yeah,
no.
I think it'd be hard. I mean, the only one you might consider, I wouldn't drop Kendry Miller because I just heard Kamara got an injury.
Kendrick
So I
Miller's a
guess
big buy, by the way. Huge buy.
Kendry.
He got more carries. Like he got more carries than Kamara last week. Like
Oh
the
wow.
the question is his receiving, but he massive buy on Condre Miller.
I mean, that hurts to hear because I mean, like you and I have been like the biggest
Yeah,
like Kendrick Miller fans, and I mean well, I guess I don't know. I feel like we both gave up on him, but the
yeah,
difference was I was able to sell my shares, all my shares, and you weren't. So
yeah. I didn't
you still
even.
have some shares left.
Yeah, I sold some. I basically I got a 27 third from Grease Bowl. Okay, if you can give me a 27 third, if I could get something I wanted for Condre Miller, I was selling him. If I couldn't get anything I wanted, like I just left him on. That's how I have like 4 sitting around. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I ever cut him. I think I
yeah,
actually managed to get something for him in a trade everywhere, but I did get rid of
yeah.
all my shares one way or another.
Yeah. I mean, jeez, like the amount of here's the lesson of looking at all these things. If we like a guy, just like I don't know, hold him around. If you hang on
Yeah,
him
just
long
be
enough,
patient, right?
yeah. I mean, like it'll happen eventually. So we'll see with Condre, but like, yeah, I mean, he's looking real. He's healthy. Like that's the thing. Like when these guys get healthy, man, like,
Right.
they're talented. They're good players. Like, what's the surprise there? So
Yeah,
yeah,
and we have Cooper saying, "I regret not getting any Mason Taylor. He looks awesome." Yeah, I wasn't a big believer in him either, but I did draft him in this wild, crazy tight end premium league where it's like 6 PPR for tight ends, and yeah, he's been incredible in that scoring.
Yeah, I mean, similar to Gunnar Helm, like I was watching Mason Taylor. I looked. Those were the first things I looked at in the draft. Like specifically, it was tight ends, and I was like, given whatever my eye test on all their touches and targets, I thought he was just a guy. Like, but with that
Yeah,
being said, he was very good at like just getting open. Whatever it was, like getting open and just being a PPR scam. So yeah, I mean, when he got really good draft capital, I at least went out and got 2. I really did not expect to want any of them. I just really thought he'd be a more expensive guy with that draft capital. But I'm pretty shocked with what he's doing. I really wasn't high on him at all. He's like, dude, he's probably a great buy. What he's been doing, I mean, he's been very sneaky until this week where he put
yeah,
a
and
monster.
Blake, actually, I'd give you more credit than that. I would say that like even though you didn't love him as a prospect, based on like how cheap he was in rookie drafts, like you were interested in getting some shares of him, and I believe you got some, right? I mean,
No,
do
yeah,
you still own a few shares of him?
yeah, I got him at least two. I got no pun intended, and I got him in break room.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, so I
the
think that was a good call by you. And in fact, I think it was your endorsement of him, probably why I was even like as open to drafting him in that crazy tight end premium league as I was.
yeah, I mean, you just like especially again like break room's like a full PPR or whatever full tight end premium. Like
Right.
you especially have to be like willing to draft these tight ends,
Yeah.
especially in those leagues. In the half
Yeah.
PPR ones, like if you don't like them, that's fine and all, but make sure you at least get a share in the league where they matter.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting because this is where it goes back quickly to just like rookie things, and this is again where you can get in trouble with Ibuka. But again, okay, you can always scramble if you're getting wrong and all these injuries happen and the path starts to form. You can buy these guys higher as the path becomes more clear, if that makes sense. You're paying because now the path is clear. Like one guy I don't have any of is Terrence Ferguson, and I think he's a really really good buy. But like I was interested in rookie drafts, but not as interested as the guys going around him
Mm-hmm.
because well Terrence Ferguson, it's gonna be hard. Tyler Higbee's a dude and like a veteran dude that's trusted. So yeah, as I ended up having to, those guys were kind of going side by side. So I just tie broke with the guy that is gonna be a starting tight end. I don't know. I feel like that works more than often not. It doesn't really matter if you think they're that good. Just get the guy that's gonna be on the field and can do something week one. That's basically been my philosophy with Mason Taylor. And then, like, what do you have to add to Terrence Ferguson right now to go get Mason Taylor? Even if you think Terrence Ferguson's a better talent, it doesn't matter. He's not getting opportunities. So it was
Yeah.
kind of the same thing with the Warren Loveland, right? It's just like get the guy that's going to be on the field ASAP and have a lot of opportunity. It won't work
Mm.
every time. I feel like it works more often than not. I don't know about you, Dan.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of starting to fade here, so I think I'm gonna have to hop off soon. But let's send out this trade offer, and then I don't know if you want to go solo at all, or if we're just gonna wrap up the stream. But yeah, let's get this offer out.
Okay, so what do we got here? Okay, so it's Worthy. Let's try to give him like Reed in the deal because
Okay.
he's
And maybe save Trey Benson for another deal.
yeah. I mean, we could always in a counter or something. We could always go for Trey Benson if we wanted. Maybe if we got Benson in, I don't know. Yeah, could we get Braylon Allen back in the deal?
And I mean, if you're good with this 2 for 2,
Oh, but we gotta
I
get Helm.
oh yeah, get Helm in there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good with that. Again, yeah, Luther
Yeah.
Burden, I'd way prefer him to Reed. So
Yeah, I mean, like Reed is like just like almost like nothing to me at this point. So yeah, it almost feels like a 3 for 1. So I'd be very happy with that.
was was Reed dealing with injuries last year? I'm just like trying to put my brain back of
Oh
what
yeah.
happened
So
with
hey,
him.
yeah, maybe we need to learn something here. So yeah, maybe we shouldn't like completely leave him for dead, but it's
If
just some
there's something,
questions.
if there's something we've learned today, it's stop not caring about people that are hurt. We should care
Yeah,
more
yeah.
about these guys that are hurt. But yeah, I agree with you. Like we'll trade Reed and we'll trade back from another league or something.
Yeah. Also, quick announcement: Film Club. We are gonna push back the review of Whiplash 1 week to next Wednesday. So if you haven't watched it yet, you get an extra chance here, an extra week to watch it, and you can participate in Film Club at the end of next Wednesday's live stream. I think I'm gonna hop off here though. I'm just getting tired. Are you gonna go solo at all, Blake, or should we just call it a night here?
I might go solo for a little bit just to send some offers out and people in chat.
Yeah.
Got some
Cool.
suggestions. I'll roll with that.
Yeah, sounds good. I might have you out in the background, so who knows? You might even see me in the chat, but I'll probably be falling asleep pretty soon here.
All right, sounds good.
All right, see you later.
Yeah, have a good night. And then Jacob says, Reed is basically nothing to me. Dan, you've come a long way. Yeah, I mean, that is crazy to hear. That would be like one where, I mean, basically 365 days ago, I would have never thought those words would have came out of Dan's mouth. I mean, very big Reed guy. And Reed, a year ago, was balling, by the way. Yeah. I mean, look, if there's been a lesson, just in Dynasty, just buy injured players. It's as simple as that, especially talented injured players. I think it's as simple as that. That's the recipe. Just look for those disappointing players. More of an off-season thing, of course, but if they're hurt actively, great chance to get them. Ooh, and the whole ass, is this, our first watch of Whiplash? I watched it for the first time, like way too late, which was like a couple months ago. And I knew I should have watched. I knew it was like supposed to be a good movie. I didn't even know it was like directed by Damien Chazelle, which I'm like a big fan of. And yeah, it did not. I've never been disappointed with a film of his. Just phenomenal watch. So yeah, it sounds like you've seen it in a hole. Let me know. And would I send Henderson for Carter and JCM? I would, because you could start Carter right now. He's hilariously enough a better start than Henderson. And JCM's coming on. He's a better start than Henderson right now at the moment. Now, I think Henderson's obviously the best player in the deal if he ever gets going. But yeah, I mean JCM. I don't know. I guess it depends, right? I don't want to say that blindly, not knowing your team. If you can start Carter, if you can flex him or flex JCM, I think you should absolutely do it. If you're not starting any of these guys, like, Henderson is like the potential true league winner. JCM doesn't really catch the football. That's certainly going to limit him, but he's been one of the best runners, crazy enough, so far. So, yeah, I guess just kind of depends on what you need. And yeah, it will be Dan's first time seeing Whiplash. Adrian, welcome back. See your comment now. Remember you were here at least last stream. So, yeah, I'm assuming you sub, so thank you for the sub, if so. Was JSN, Pickens, and Kyron for Scat, Olave, and CMC. Don't need Scat and have Bucky and Hampton Hurts. Yeah, okay, I remember you telling us about the Bucky and the Hampton. I'm confused about was. Like, is that a typo? JSN, Pickens, and Kyron for Scat, Olave, CMC. Yeah, I mean, I hate giving up CMC just in general. Let me. Well, I don't think I have a solo cam thing. I gotta work on that, but so I'll leave it as this. But yeah, I don't love giving up CMC, but yeah, JSN has been awesome. That's a tough one. I don't know. I think I just think Olave is a great buy, even if you don't need Scat. I just think CMC is the best player in the deal. Olave is good. If you need the depth, I mean, it's still a 3 for 3. I still lean CMC personally, but that's close. JSN's been awesome. Okay, you were offered. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you said you had the JSN Pickens and counter inside last time you were in the stream. So you'd be getting the CMC. Again, I mean, like, CMC is the most important player in that deal, hands down. So, to me, unless there's something I don't know about this team, you said you have Bucky and Hampton hurt. I think you just get the best player in the deal. It's a 3 for 3. Again, Olave might be better than Pickens as soon as Lamb's back. I mean, he's been so good. Minus, Olave hasn't been scoring touchdowns. Do really like Kyron, but I really like Scat. So, I do have to lean CMC there. Just give me one moment here. I'll let my dog in. All right. So you still got Brees, my boy Brees. That's right. You got Rashad White. Remember you said you had the handcuff there for Buggy. And then yeah, Jettis, Quentin Johnston, Vlad, Olave. I see. Yeah, you got a lot of injuries. Yeah, I mean, look, that's a good team. I just want to get CMC on that team and ride it. If he's healthy, I mean, like, he's like the best running back in fantasy. I think he's like the number 5 overall player currently in PPR, like including quarterbacks. Like he's ahead of like insane quarterbacks. So that's just like so hard. To me, it's you have to get CMC if he's in the deal. If you have the option to get him there, that's way too affordable of a price to get, and yeah, to consider passing up on him. So yeah, let me know if you're getting the CMC side, I believe, right? So let me know if you're gonna accept that. And the whole okay, yeah, you're saying yeah, you give away Henderson. Oh, Henderson and Carter for JCM. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with like Carter and Henderson side, right? If you need Carter, you can start him, and just you got to shoot for these league winners. I think JCM, there's a very good chance he could just be the better one. But like, dude, I mean, I think if you miss out on JCM, it's gonna be fine. If you miss out on Henderson, I mean, we're talking about like he's the whole package, right? With I mean, we know how talented he is. Catching the ball though, he does that far better than JCM does. I mean, that's just the glitch in fantasy, right? Assuming it's full PPR. And yeah, I mean, you're worried the CMC's, they're playing him too much, he's injury prone, but, maybe that's what the guy's thinking, sending that deal, right? Like, I mean, that's how he's getting there. He's getting there through 30 touches a game. In fact, he hasn't even been really scoring many touchdowns. He might have 3. He actually doesn't even have a rushing touchdown this season. Like, as crazy it is, like, like, I mean, he's literally underperforming. It's a fact right now to his expectation for fantasy points. Like, he hasn't even tapped into what his true ceiling is if he's healthy. So I wouldn't worry personally about injuries. I'm just, again, like Worthy played 3 snaps and got bodied by Travis Kelce. Like, any player can get hurt. To me, I get it. He might have a higher chance of getting injured. I'm fine losing my season like that personally. I think you win the league if you have CMC or have your best chance of doing it so with CMC, right? And hey, what if Kyron gets hurt? He gets a bunch of work anyway. So to me, I just don't like to think like that personally. I certainly get it though if you've been burnt by CMC before. And yeah, I mean, I might send out some offers here. If Dan's here, maybe he can, like, through chat even talk about who he might want in the deal. Actually, I just got a trade offer in a redraft league where, let's see, 22 fab for Tucker Craft. Interesting. Fannon's available. Is Loveland available? Loveland is available. This is a league. It's just a half PPR. I have actually Kraft in Ferguson. Drafted Kraft, picked up Ferguson immediately. So I've been just racking up fab in this league, like selling dudes. I might actually just take this because, like, when's the bye week here for Ferguson? Yeah, week 10. Like, I mean, like, when am I gonna sit Ferguson? If he gets hurt, he gets hurt. I think I gotta accept that and just, it's half PPR, just done deal. How much fab do we have here? 133 fab. The fab demon in here. Let's see. Yeah, you expect Scat to go down with Tracy. I do expect so as well. Yeah, I mean, you want as much volume as you can with Scat, but again, he's gonna have a hard time going away. I'd be pretty shocked if he wasn't, like, the lead back and continue to grow on that. Yeah, I don't think I'm, like, too worried about the Scat part. Is my point. I'm just not, like, I'm just more concerned about getting the best player in the deal with CMC. Yeah, like, you're sending away Pickens, who, again, like, I really like Pickens, but Lamb's coming back. So I don't know. I feel like you can kind of nitpick some sides. I just prefer CMC personally. Maybe I'm pushing you into it. I would say don't make the deal though if you just disagree completely. You just oftentimes want the best player in the deal, right? And you'll believe he'll be the lead back, 10 to 12 points. I'm assuming you're saying that about Scatabo, but you just don't think he's going to be that impressive. And yeah, Theo Johnson. Oh, wait, no. The tight end is starting to also steal carries. Is that Theo Johnson still in carries? I don't even know about that. If so. I see this league where I just accepted. Got a Ryan Flournoy share. His waiver just processed. I what's 22 on? What did I have? Okay, I'll have 155 fab in a league with 100 budget because I just keep like picking up players and selling them. Like I think I just sold like Michael Carter to a dude. I don't know. Like there's just way too good of players on waivers. So, I mean, hey, there's a tip for you guys if you guys use what's it called? If you guys use Fab, like I'm just racking it up. Yeah. I mean, once this trade gets processed, I'm just probably gonna go pick up. Well, I don't even know if I need Love One, but I'll probably just pick up actually like Travis Hunter or some other talented player, Tracy or someone. I don't know. So so you said not always you believe trying to move everyone rather than have one or two good players. So are you saying you'd rather have a more balanced team than like yeah one or two guys carrying your team, and you're also 5-0, which hey, good stuff. Very very good start. Gotta get that bye. Yeah, I mean, look, there's some data, some really interesting data of as far as like what you want, right? Do you want a bunch of good players, solid players, or whatever? Aim for that, I don't know, safer floor, or do you just like want these league winners and the data? I mean, like it's hard to argue with. Like if you own CMC any year he's been healthy, like literally ESPN, they release the stats. Like it's over 50% of the managers make the finals. It has nothing to do with even just if you had them on your team, you make the finals, and then the win percentage is of course very high. So I'm just more inclined to just have one bet, right? If CMC hits, you have the best chance, right? Rather than I need this and that and whatever to happen, right? Things change so quickly. That's just my philosophy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're saying it's a 10-man league as well. So, like, I mean, to me, like, I want CMC even more, right? That's even more shallow of a league. This is a 10-team league as well. Like, I would, like, if CMC was available in trade, like, I would 100% like package a couple things. Because I don't know if your waiver wire is the same. This is like a 6 bench. Like, yeah, there's like, I mean, there's just a bunch of players. Like, every week you can kind of do this like DFS approach we were talking about earlier. This is the kind of league you can do it. Like there's always a startable guy off waivers. Again, Luther Burden is just like sitting on waivers. The week he goes off, I can dump some fab on him. I just want to get the most talented player in the deal. All right. Let's see here. What trades can be made? Maybe this is a good league to look for some trades. This is Andrew and I's team together. Shoot, Kamara banged up. Too late to sell him, it looks like. Gotta give Mike Evans. Did send some trades out. I can't remember to who. Maybe we'll send one to Joshy. Does he have an interesting rookie? I don't know. Send that out to him. Let's see what Jacob's saying. Conspiracy is that it's fake injury, so they can not play him, not risk his health, and trade him. Interesting conspiracy. I mean, like, maybe he's faking it. Maybe he wants to get traded. That'd be, dude, him and Brees need to go so bad. Can we get one on the Bears, and can we get one on the Chiefs? I don't know which one I would, like, want. Honestly, like, Chiefs would low-key be a toxic landing spot for, like, Brees Hall or someone, though. Especially, like, for, like, Brees Hall. Because, like, oh, my God, if they were, like, actually playing Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith, and, like, if they just, like, turned that into, like, a four-man backfield with, like, Brees Hall as, like, the lead guy, I don't know. That would also be potentially pretty disgusting. But, man, if he got to be a workhorse there, holy crap. Yeah, I mean, I'll say it's plausible. I mean, I hope you got some Condre Miller. Yeah, he's going to be a hard guy to buy right now, but he could be a great guy to just, like, buy low. I mean, or buy high. If he gets the receiving work with, what's his name out there, Kamara out and traded away. I mean, Condre Miller is just, like, he's been great on the ground. Let's see what else we got here. What did you think, since you're in here, Jacob? We got, I don't know, maybe we go off for some deals in the break room. We got a great deal for Dan here. I mean, actually, I just got this package for Devontae Adams, not George Pickens. Like, it's pretty much the exact same deal. Pickens for basically, like, Horton in a second. You know, there's a third, fourth swap in there as well. I mean, that's an easy Pickens. I was surprised this guy wanted to do the deal. He actually came to us asking to do this deal. Been disappointed with Nico, man. He's as good of a receiver as advertised, but man, that offense stinks. Like, it's just not one I really want, like, anything of, you know. Yeah, they light up the Ravens, but again, we know that's just the Ravens are easy pickings right now. So, agree, Dan Cooks. Yeah, I was just shocked we were able to get Tet for Nico, to be completely honest. Like, I mean, Tet's just been, like, better. Like, honestly, other than that one, he just hasn't scored a touchdown. Like, he's just genuinely been better for fantasy and in every metric you want to have right now. Yeah, I mean, dude, if Nico can get it together, like, I think it's a fair deal. I'm just, like, worried about the Texans stuff. I actually own a bunch of Nico. Like, I'm not, like, trying to trade him away necessarily, but I would trade him for Tet in a heartbeat. I was, like, pretty happy he wanting to do that. Yeah, I mean, you just get a lot of room to work with Tet, right? If Nico's disappointing, I mean, he's just going to be plummeting down rankings. Could be a lot of value left on the board. Even if Nico's better the rest of the season, you know, still like that move. I'm assuming he's going to be worse than Nico, right? I love Nico. But Tet has been great. What other deals have been going down? Yeah, I mean, Tet's measures have been pretty good, though. I mean, for what he's working with, at least, right? Like, you know, Bryce Young's been brutal. I mean, dude, honestly, if like, if Andy Dalton gets in there, it might be, like, best case at this point, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, dude, Nico's, like, extremely talented. Like, I want to be very clear about that. But, like, you know, a lot of things matter with what's going around. Like, he's just 26 years old. The thing is, like, it doesn't matter if we think Nico is really talented. If he doesn't just, like, hit, right, like, clear top I don't know, 7, 8 receiver rest of the season, like, I mean, people are just gonna be off of him come the off season, or he'll not be going anywhere near the second round. You know, maybe like kind of where AJ Brown was this year, maybe somewhere in that mid third or late third or something like that. Yeah, just a guy. I want to get the guy ascending over the guy that's probably falling. Even with a point hit, I just don't think it's that much of a difference. I really think Tech could outscore him if he could ever score a goddamn touchdown. And Nahal, you're saying you think you're going to send Henderson and Carter for JCM? Yeah, I mean, look, I know like, be very very careful is all, because it's just not true that Henderson's ceiling is like the same. I mean, as long as you're playing in a full PPR league, like Henderson's pass catching, I mean, just look at what he did in week 1. He had like, I mean, his targets per route run has been pretty insane when he's gotten the opportunity to actually run a route. Drake May is actually, yeah, I mean, their connection in the preseason and everything, very good metrics. Like, if Henderson were to basically ever get a full workload, like, he's just an absolute glitch. You know, the question is, does he get it? Where JCM seems to be getting it, he's just not going to get that pass catching that you're looking for. So I think you're looking at a potential like high end RB2 with JCM ceiling. I mean, Henderson's a clear RB1. You know, if he ever taps into that ceiling. So I do get it though. If you think like JCM's more likely to hit it, because he's just been really efficient on the ground. But yeah, absolutely would just prefer, if I'm shooting for the ceiling of ceilings, trying to win my league, and I don't need to start any of these guys, I'm still keeping Henderson. Which might be an unpopular opinion at this point. But I mean, again, like we see these rookies come out of years and years, and even this season, right? Like Hampton and Genty look like trash. I know it's different with the coaching staff having just something to do with it here, but like, what if I don't think JCM could really benefit from an injury. Like, what if Ramondre went down next week? Like, I mean, my God, dude, like Henderson people would be just like clawing to get him. So that would be my warning if you're gonna do that trade. I wouldn't recommend it personally. Jacob, you're saying with his age, yeah, look, if Nico is just not like a clear wide receiver one that you need to have like last year, he was awesome. He did fade when he came back. If he's playing like he did when he came back from that injury, again, it's like I don't think it's on him. I think it's on that offense and terrible O line and whatever. Maybe CJ Stroud. His value is going to hit fast, 100%. He's also just like not the biggest name, Nico Collins. He didn't have good draft capital. That plays into it, right? So, at least AJ Brown's like a big name. He's been fading, but he kind of gets to hang on a little bit because of his artificial dynasty value. You don't want to wait a week if it's not going to be available. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Ramondre is going to be much more involved than Rodriguez and Nichols. I'm just saying, as long as you don't need to start one of these guys, like sure, if you need to start Bill, like no doubt, like you want to have Bill right now over Henderson if it's dire. But again, if you have a positive record, you don't need to start these guys. Henderson all day, and yeah, his yards per touch. It has been worse, but he's barely touched the ball. So it is half PPR. Okay. Yeah, I mean, half PPR is a lot closer because pass catching does not matter nearly as much in half PPR as full. I mean, especially for these running backs, touchdowns matter. So yeah, okay, I won't fault you too much then, knowing it's half PPR. So yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, I think I'm fine making that deal then. I guess the one thing I'd say is okay, you can start Michael Carter, but I'm fine with it. It sounds like you're more confident in JCM. It's half PPR. That's a clear differentiator. Dan, welcome back, Dan. Inbox offer. Give Worthy, Rashard Smith. Get Adams Swift. Dynasty. Start 10. Start 10 in premium. Yeah, I mean, look, Adams is that, great contending asset. I'm not a big fan of giving away Adams, but if I can get Worthy, again, I know I've been wanting to kind of sell some Worthy in leagues, especially if you can get old value. I still want Xavier Worthy. I just don't care too much about Swift. But yeah, I just prefer keeping the better player and Worthy for dynasty wise. Again, Rashard Smith and Swift, they could be the same value in a week from now. I'm just not really considering anything with that. And again, unless it's a dire situation. If it's dire and you like Swift, I don't think you do. Could talk into it for that contending asset, but yeah, I'd agree with Jacob. You got to keep Worthy. Gibson's injury. I mean, it sounds like that might be blood, sweat, and beers. I mean, hey, if someone is actually selling Adams, like let's just say he was selling them, throw together some picks to get him, or a player and some picks. Don't don't sacrifice Worthy like that. Yeah, I mean, when the season's over, what do you want? 34-year-old Devontae Adams or 23-year-old Xavier Worthy? I mean, gotta be Worthy. Though I do really like Devontae Adams as a buy. Actually, that's a trade, Jacob, that Andrew and I just like this team. We lose by like a point every single week. We lost the median by like like literally like 0.1 points this past week. Just no luck at all. So we've been like tearing it down. Also some injuries, disappointing players, all that good stuff. But we made a trade I thought was really good for both sides. Devontae Adams, and then I blew Fab on Michael Carter, so we got to capitalize on that. Basically trade him for a fourth. But we got a 27-second, it's the champ from last year's. But we did get Torrey Horton. So I thought that was a fun trade. And I thought it was a good trade for that other owner too. Like, he gets Devontae Adams for a rookie he can't use. And also, I don't know if I ever told anyone this, but again, actually, Andrew put me in charge of waivers on this one. But I don't know if I don't know if it was because there was 5 rounds or what happened. In this one, I got like a bunch of people I didn't normally get in leagues, but I put a really aggressive bid on Dylan Gabriel for some reason. Just like I just don't like Shedeur. Got to add a fourth to him for a second. I mean, he actually played a pretty good game, so maybe that's a bad trade or ends up being, but like we just took the second, took our profit. I don't know, like I'm just not counting on Dylan Gabriel to be the starter next year, basically. Though I think he could probably survive this year. I mean, they're just a bad team. They're gonna get a top quarterback very likely. So, wish we didn't have to add the fourth in, but like we did that before the game, by the way. So like, I mean, we wanted to get rid of him before before he touched the field against the Vikings. But no, you know what? We actually had a really good season last year. We were like tied for first all season long. Then we took the lead, and then Jalen Hurts and Connor, just like all my leagues, got hurt, and we lost our playoff matchup because of that, and we would have won it in the finals. So I guess that there was some bad luck there. That was more on me though for my Jalen Hurts and Connor voodoo. Unfortunately, having them everywhere last year, but we at least had some luck last year. That this year though, absolutely not. Not at all. The Gabriel one, yeah, the Gabriel one, like I was shocked the guy was like willing to give a second up for him. So just took it before he touched the field. Simple as that. We need some picks. What we got here now? We got not too many picks. Like we gotta get this thing going here. But I actually made sure I put a pretty aggressive bid. Yeah, like I put over 50% of our budget here because this is a 2 PPR tight end. Put over half our budget on Gunnar Helm for some reason. Couldn't really tell you why. I didn't really like Gunnar Helm, but there was some. This must have been like no. There's only 4 rounds, so I don't know what was going on with waivers. But I, for some reason, was in on Helm on this one. I put a pretty aggressive one on Gabriel as well. If I recall. Yeah, 275 on him. I don't know who else we got in waivers on this year. But let's see. We get Woody Marks. 310 on Woody Marks. We got Conrad Miller sitting around on this team. Any trade suggestions, Jacob? Especially with some of these vets here. What are the rookies you're targeting right now? You know, you're the rebuilder guy across level leagues, so you're probably looking big time into all these rookies. Trade suggestions for Just Curious? Trade suggestions for Just Curious. I have no idea what you mean. I'm interested in who you're looking to buy. Oh, you're mainly audio. Okay. Yeah, no. I don't have anyone pulled up. I'm saying, like, I guess these veterans. Yeah, I have guys like Hurts, Kamara, Devontae Smith, Njoku, Ingram for what that's worth right now. Mike Evans. But those are the big ones. But I was just saying players in general, though. Which ones are you trying to buy? Like, some big ones for me, again, it's just guys that, like, haven't done anything yet. Like, I don't even like Monongai, but I think he's still an interesting one to guys to throw in. Rashard Smith, I'm interested in. Burden and Loveland, again, just, like, didn't really expect anything from them without, like, an injury, so I'm starting to become really, really interested in getting those guys. Yeah, Gunnar Helm becoming very interested, as we said. I mean, the key is kind of just like who hasn't done anything yet or hasn't done enough to skyrocket. Actually, Mason, who owns Mason Taylor in this league? Damn, okay, it's this guy. I mean, yeah, Mason Taylor is like a... Dude, the ceiling is so high for just like any young tight end that can just rack in 12 targets in a game. I mean, my God. I gotta see if we can get him here in a deal. I think we just made a deal with this guy. Timing's probably not going to be great on this one. But he's got a lot of tight ends, man. Can he give us... a third of Mason Taylor? We'll give him Mike Evans and... throw in Wan'Dale Robinson. I mean, Wan'Dale's like, kind of got to be careful with him. He's playing 100% of snaps right now. I don't know that he's a good buy, but he's... I mean, he might be a decent flex fill in if you can get him cheap. So you say, yeah, Burden and Loveland are absolutely buys. No, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's why I only came out... Actually, I did end up coming out with 2 Lovelands. Because one I basically got Warren... Or I traded Warren for Loveland and Ferguson, which... sounds awful, but thank God Ferguson was a part of that. So, I mean, that was obviously the reason I got it. I did it was because I got a good plus on top for similar talented tight ends, but preferred Warren. Yeah, I mean, I came with 2 Lovelands and 1 Burden, but like I just was not targeting them at all. Again, just if an injury happened, yeah, I think right now they probably are smashing. But both of them were hurt in training camp as well, so. Wasn't very eager to get them, like when missing camp and stuff like that. But right now, like this is why, like people are gonna be frustrated. Like as long as you don't own them in a league, Jacob, like I think there's a decent chance to get them, or as long as that rebuilder doesn't have them. So yeah, I mean, I just love the bets that those guys are. Man, almost got Loveland, Dowdle, and Theo Johnson off Coda for like a single first last week. So close. I should have checked up back on it though. That would have been like the traded timing of the century. Yeah, I mean, you're trying to sell Ibuka. I mean, it's funny because like I will sell, like I'm right with you. Like if I can get just like literally top end price for it, I'm with you. I'm also just down to ride the roller coaster, at least for now. So I mean, it's probably just the same as you. Like if I can get Cam Ward in 2 seconds, hell yeah, dude, I'm doing that all day. Like that's just too easy. Yeah, I mean the pipe window on Taylor's missed, but he's not worth a first. Like I mean, I'd sell him for a first if someone was giving me a first right now. I would have to think I'd do that. So, I mean, until he's worth a first, I think the buy window is still available, especially in these heavy tight end premium ones. So again, like if he, I don't know, I don't feel good starting Mason Taylor next week. Like even these tight end premium leagues, maybe I should, but people could just be looking to sell him high, I suppose. So I think there's still a window. All right, dog sighting in the background. Yeah, I mean, I think Ward's a pretty good what's called there buy as well. I mean, he's one where it's like, okay, how are you gonna buy him on a contending team though? You know, like the yeah, people are not gonna. Most people have Cam Ward, don't really need him. Most people, so he's a very hard guy to like justify buying. It's just not really. It doesn't really make sense, but it's not really practical. But if I'm able to buy, if I'm calling it quits on a season, yeah, I mean Cam Ward's done like nothing, but he's made some awesome throws. There's been some really good stuff on Ward. He's a rookie quarterback though, so yeah, definitely interested in getting him at some point. I mean, it's kind of why I didn't draft him. You know, just a rookie quarterback, doesn't rush. Really think he's talented, but did not. Love that. Yeah, Burden and Loveland injuries. Yeah, they didn't help. You have a list of reasons why Ibuka is such a fat hammer sell as current night. Let's hear it. Let's hear the sell. I mean, yeah, I certainly made a case today of like why you should sell them. But again, it's just like, are you getting the value that like the Cam Ward 2 first is just like ridiculous. Like you know, Coop. I just don't know how he. I guess because it's 27 and 28. I know it's a lower buy-in league. I wouldn't do that personally. So that was an absolute smash. I just think like people. Oh, 1 second here. Idle for 40 minutes. There we go. I still don't know that people are realistically giving the let up for Ibuka. If they are, absolutely. So what else? Okay, interesting. RJ Harvey is a sell. I disagree because okay, Harvey was going first round. I really didn't love him as a pick, especially given he's a 24-year-old running back. The window is so limited for him. But I did end up getting Harvey because he started following as soon as Dobbins, and I guess for good reason, right? As soon as Dobbins signed, people were really getting off Harvey. Ended up getting a couple Harveys, bought one in season, but I'm not buying him for a first. Like I'm just like, if he's somewhere in between that like kind of that closer to early second range, I actually think he's a pretty great buy. I mean, I hate betting on just like, oh, J.K. Dobbins is gonna get hurt. I mean, if anyone was a betting favorite to get hurt next, it has to be J.K. Dobbins. Um, I mean, look, so yeah, I think he's a good back. He's not a great dynasty asset, is all. I just don't think you get burned very hard on RJ Harvey if you invest on him right now when he's doing nothing. And if like, do not pay a first for him. Absolutely not. Like, if that's your point, 1,000% agree. You can't sniff a first for RJ Harvey right now, in my opinion. All right, detail through later. 5 TDs through 5 games. Yeah, I mean, obviously that's not sustainable. Again, if you actually look at some of the play, man, very close misses, but he's pulling it through. You know what? I have the same take about Rome, by the way. I mean, it might seem, oh my God, Blake, you don't have Rome. Like, you're gonna say that. No, like, I think Rome's been very impressive. He's got some really good metrics. He has 5 touchdowns through 4 games. Like, that is not sustainable. You know, one of them, I was watching the Cowboys game. Trayvon Diggs just sucks. Like, he literally just fell over and gave Rome would have had a terrible. He would have had like 2 catches for like no yards and no touchdowns in that Cowboys game. But Trayvon Diggs just like collapsed at the line of scrimmage for no reason. Like hand fighting. Like it was not like because he cooked him or anything like that. So, anyways, I do think Rome is like a potential big sell, but he's a really talented player like Ibuka, so it's always hard to say that. I just think Rome's a very, very big riser as well. And again, can sustain it, but he's not going to be averaging more than a touchdown per game, of course. Yeah, I mean, he's not getting wide receiver 1 target rate. It's interesting, right? Like, it's his first games. He's getting usage downfield, which is awesome. It's yeah. I mean, I tend to agree. It's just I don't know where I draw the line. That's all, right? Like when I see it, you know, I don't know how to like explain it for Ibuka what I'm selling him for, but like I'll know when I see it. Yeah. I mean, the thing with, like, I guess the one thing with Ibuka is this black magic. Is, like, can Mike Evans and just Godwin keep getting hurt? Like, I don't know. I think that could be the way we're kind of wrong about that. And even when they're back, again, I still think Ibuka's going to be really good. Just, it's going to be very, very hard to sustain wide receiver 1 production with those dudes back. And Jalen McMillan coming back, so... I don't know, yeah. What do you value Ibuka at, I guess? Like, what do you need to sell him? I see. Interesting. So you're saying he's a scary Terry archetype for usage right now, but people reflecting his value like he's Amon-Ra, which is interesting because, like, he prototypes more like this. You know how Rice and Amon-Ra have been used, right? The slot guy, soak up some targets, but he's been like really good downfield. I mean, you know, again, it's kind of been like Jefferson-esque in the way that how he's been used. Like, he was just a slot player for the most part, you know, coming on his profile, same as Jefferson. But there's way more to his game than that. So, yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, hey, like, what's the, you know, if someone's in your inbox right now, like, what's the lowest you'd sell them for, whether that's an overpay to you or not? Like, what do you think is the lowest you would trade him for? Yeah, I mean, he's got to be too generic first, absolutely. Worthy in a first. Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what the first is, right? It's always misleading when someone just says, like, a first, you know, is it the 103 or is it the 112? You know, is the guy like 5-0? So, yeah, it depends on what that first is. It would have to be a pretty good one. I'm not doing that for a late first personally. And I like Worthy, but you know, he's kind of missed his opportunity. The big selling point for Worthy was this first 6 games. And, you know, is not playing with a torn labrum. So yeah, I agree. Like I'm holding for 2 firsts. But if you could get like let's say you get 2 firsts, you could get Luther Burden, Forig Buka, and call it like a second or like a late second, especially. Like, dude, that's the kind of deal where I think you could win big time. If you can get like 2 firsts and a nice rookie in it, I really like that. Um, Also, I made a kind of crazy trade in Listener League. Maybe I'll pull it up. Maybe we'll look at this Listener League trades. What? Actually, you just said that you don't think Harvey's a buy, anyways, but or you think he's a sell. So, what did you think about this trade, just in general? This is a very tough one. I thought there was like a Henderson part of the deal, and I really want to get Henderson, but I didn't have a first in it, so it didn't really make sense. Yeah, I ended up making this deal. But yeah, I mean, 2 firsts and burn. I don't think you're getting that. I mean, hey, maybe I should send out some offers. If you can get that, holy crap! Like, yeah, dude, I'm doing that. Again, I've actually like not been a big burden guy at all. Again, partly to do with like a situation being really muddy to start, but if you can start getting them thrown into a deal like that, yeah. And you think it's even, but more pieces with more sides, has more upside and a first. I mean, that's basically my logic to doing it. You know, normally I want to be like really confident moving a player like Amon-Ra. It's a deal that like I do. Again, I do have questions of like, hey, is this Harvey thing happening? I'm buying Quentin Johnston more than I'm not, right? But I mean, the deal just looks bad when you're looking at it, right? I mean, I think I'm off at rocker. Well, I don't know. I guess so. I guess Harvey was like a first round value before the season. But yeah, I do think the first could be really good off Chase. He's got a really good team this year. But if you kind of look at his team, I mean, it's already getting pretty thin. So by the time next year, he has no picks. Just kind of thinking like you don't want Chase's first this year, but you want it next year, more than likely. That's kind of my take on it. So I do think there's a good chance that that's a true kind of random first off him. QJ's been pretty awesome. And RJ Harvey's kind of like a wild card in this trade. So I think there's a very real chance that like just Quentin Johnston the first, like with how that first ends up going, could end up kind of being a fair deal. And yeah, sure, there's a third. So Harvey's a fun wild card with how it goes, but obviously very hard to trade Amon-Ra with what he's been doing. I mean, actually, you want to talk about touchdowns? I mean, I think Amon-Ra, again, he's been a guy that's obviously going to be putting up great numbers like he always does, but he does have a ton of touchdowns, right? I think he has like 6 touchdowns. Yeah, he does. So, you know, I don't know. I mean, 3 in one game, that'll get you far. But, yeah, not a guy you want to be trading away right now. Yeah, if you're contending or whatever, doesn't feel great. And QJ may be Jalen Waddle, but 6'3". I might have fleeced him 3 weeks. I hope he's not Jalen Waddle, but 6'3". It's so funny that like I'm like the Jalen Waddle hater now, but like honestly, I kind of am. Like, again, I think he's like worth a first in the sense that like, yeah, that's my biggest argument for Jalen Waddle is like, okay, if you can get a first, like you should be selling him for first. Do not sell Jalen Waddle like before last week if you can't get a first for him. That's pretty obvious. But let me just like re-roll him, and especially if you could find somehow right now, if you could find, I know he might be like really good rest of the season, if he can splash on these big plays and stuff like that. But if I'm a rebuilder, I know that you are, Jacob. I mean, give me a first in like one of these Torrey Hortons or something like that. I don't know. I mean, maybe you want a little bit more than that, but I prefer that, especially in your shoes. Yeah, I mean, but Waddle's like 5'11", you know? I mean, you get a few more inches on him. Could be a dude. yeah, I mean, hopefully they just use him, for for your sanity. Like, they got to be forced to. I mean, they really didn't use him any differently in that game. It seemed like until he did get the big touchdown where he just absolutely blew. I don't know what that corner was doing. He was like flat footed. I forget who they played, but yeah, I mean, he just blew by that dude. Had that nice touchdown. So good to see for uh, the Waddle train there. I mean, it's one where it's like, yeah, I'm not too concerned on missing on him, but maybe I'm proven wrong, right? I mean, I know he's a talented player, so we'll see. Um, okay, you said you got a dip soon. Appreciate entertaining combo. I should have just asked you, by the way, if you wanted to come on here. I completely forgot. So if you do ever want to just like jump on here, let us know. Been meaning to have you back on, of course. We're due for our chat, but definitely appreciate you, talking with me in the chat here. You say one last thing you mentioned. Is there any differences between Marvin Harrison and Quentin Johnston? Which is like hilarious. Because like, okay, there is. It's look, Marvin Harrison's like the king of ADV. He's a talented player. Like there's no doubt about it. It's just like he's just, can we get him on the Chargers? Like so yeah, I mean, Dan won't be happy seeing that one, but QJ's been damn good. Both young players. Yeah, I mean, it's still by default. I'm cowarding to Marvin Harrison, of course. Still, maybe he's the next QJ. You know, maybe year 3's his year. But yeah, I mean, looking at redraft, like, heck, maybe I'm just giving I'd have to say QJ, man. Like, I don't own Marvin anywhere. I've been pretty low on him until that OC gets fired, until something changes. But yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one. Like, I wonder what the difference between them is right now. Like, if you get a first on top, it would feel good right now. The one thing I'll say about Marvin Harrison is he is one of those few players where if you sell him low right now, it's kind of, I guess you could say this is kind of like a Cam Ward in a way, or some of these rookies that, like Loveland right now, if you sell like a Loveland or a Marvin Harrison or one of these players that we know is really talented, but there's something blocking them. If you do that, and even if you get something good, like let's just say Quentin Johnston in a first right now, you're getting the points, you're getting the first. Let's say it's a true late first of a really good team. It's a good process. Like, okay, you're getting a more productive player and you're getting a first. But like, the thing is like it could go south super super quick in like the next, I don't know, say year, and like you're looking back at that going, oh my god, dude, like Quentin Johnston is Quentin Johnston. That first was late, and Marvin Harrison. Something changed in his situation, and we know he's talented, and oh my god, like he's now whatever, a top 15 startup pick again or whatever. So it is one of those tough ones. Like I hate to like not like Marvin or someone right now, but like as soon as something changes, again, he could just jump back so quickly. Very difficult to know what to do with him. So for Dynasty, you're saying you don't really think there's too much of a difference. I still think there definitely is. Like Marvin has way more like just like artificial Dynasty value, all that stuff. The second Marvin does anything, people are gonna jump right back in. So like I would disagree with that, but I get what you mean. Like Quentin Johnston's actually scoring points right now, feeling consistent. And yeah, I mean they are big dudes, target earners as of right now. Quentin Johnston is. Hopefully that continues. Deep a lot. I mean, funny thing is, like, QJ is, like, they're actually using him horizontally, which is exactly what you need to see out of them. So, but yeah, has that great deep threat to his game. And we will definitely let you know when to hop on. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to get you on here soon. So much to talk about. I don't even know, like, I can't remember, like, what players are all your dudes. It always comes to mind at Waddle and Loveland, and I don't know, Ibuka, I guess, like pre-draft. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you just own every rookie in every league. It's just like every time I look at a rookie, you just own them, good or bad. QJ metrics over Marv's by a lot this year. Yeah, I mean, again, it makes sense. Like, just given situation, right? I mean, the Cardinal, like, and that's just why I've been on. The Cardinal situation is just like the worst for Marv right now. I mean, absolutely brutal. So, new OC, new quarterback. I really think that could resurrect him, but yeah, I mean, if you're getting a good plus, could be a move to make. I don't know if you own any Marv. I do not. Um, but maybe a guy that's kind of a sell high. I mean, I don't think he had like that great of a game. He had a good play though. Got called back for a touchdown. I mean, it's just like got to be so frustrating to see. Like, you do get that primetime game where it was like a terrible game, but then he had 10 targets, and then he's right back to 5. Like, how does that? How can they not get him the ball more? Again, he continues to not get any of these free points. It's brutal to see there from Marv so far, but gotta believe there's more. Well, anyways, I will end it here. Thank you for everyone in chat. Dan earlier. Yeah, we will catch you next time. And yeah, I don't know. We said something about the stream schedule. Basically, Wednesdays you can absolutely expect us. I wouldn't expect us tomorrow, but anytime kind of before a game, you might see us pop up. Wednesdays for sure. Make sure you sub. Hit the noti bell. Make sure we're live. Again, it's kind of